Still walk. I like jumping the hut. The style so new, y'all be like, what? Still walk. I like jumping the hut. The style so new, y'all be like, what?
Bloody Nora.
Okay, so here we have Davi, one of our two finalists that are somehow also siblings and are somehow also repeat finalists, both of them.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it is true. So is there
That's
anything
us.
you want to say before we get into just the questions I have prepared?
Well, not much. I mean, hello everyone. Hope everyone's doing good. It's been a while, literally since last singles. I didn't do much the last couple of years, so I'm just happy to putting out some work again. And yeah, let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. So just overall, how do you feel about the tournament so far? And also, what are the main differences you see between like your experience this time and last time?
Tournament so far, I think was pretty clean. Definitely like cleaner than last time in terms of specifically the what's the name, the extra rules. I forgot how they are called. The bonus
rules.
The bonus rules for lower bracket. I think they were a total success this time around. Where last time I was the only one. Last time I was the only one giving any amount of care about it. So yeah, I enjoyed seeing that for sure. Like just the improvement in, I think, understanding, on the perspective of how to apply them, the rules, and I can definitely see an improvement there. And yeah, other than that, it's just a pretty clean system in my opinion for the competition. So I think it all went pretty smoothly. Yeah, I'm really happy with everything.
Thank you. And when you said clean, I actually thought you meant your own performance in this tournament. I was like, oh yeah, it is clean. Yeah. And then I was like, he's talking about the rules.
I was going to get into it too, but yeah, also I'm really happy. I mean, it's pretty funny because it's quite a completely opposite scenario from last time. And there's going to be a kind of a parallel with my brother, with what he has to say about it, because this time I'm around, I am like the one that's just had a lot of time to prepare stuff and all of that, took everything with a lot of previous months of preparation. Last time, it wasn't even like half a year since the honored one. It was like, what, 5 months? No, it was exactly half a year, almost exactly half a year. So, I was like fighting with the deadlines, basically.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I knew it back then. I was like, man, this is a perfect competition to reward, proper preparation and taking your time before the competition. But I wasn't in that position. I was not at all in that position, but I knew. And I could see that back then with my brother, at least, like, yeah, he had all of these moves ready, and it was
Mm.
so like it flowed so smoothly for him. I wasn't in that position, but now that I am now, I can say like, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, now the
It was,
roles are really reversed. And I remember last
yeah.
time I asked you, like, in the interview too, I was like, do you think you would have preferred being in the upper bracket? But now this time you've actually tried it. You've done both paths. Like, what do you think? Which do you find more like enjoyable as a contestant?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would like to go through lower bracket, but with the preparation, but with the time
Um,
of preparation. So, you know, because last time it was painful because I was in lower bracket and I had even less time to work in stuff that I was working on the spot. So it was like a total mess for me. I would have loved to be on upper bracket last time because I would have been able to do less moves and have more time to work on them. So I would be like, oh yeah, this is perfect. This time around, I'm like, okay, I was able to prepare for a while. I could have done a couple more rounds. You know, I could have,
you're saying
I
you
could
still
have,
have more moves after the finals saved up.
yeah, exactly. I
Yeah,
could have
okay.
gone extra round. So, but you know, you will have to extra prepared for something like that because you don't want to feel later like you threw the competition away, obviously.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say you
yeah,
can throw and go into lower bracket just for fun, but you didn't.
yeah, but then you are, you know, it's risky. So you really would have to prepare. But yeah, it would be fun. I'm not gonna lie, especially because I really enjoy like the bonus rules and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
They're fun, and also just having a few more fights. It's it's entertaining.
It definitely
But
is
yeah,
because there are a lot of matches down there that are lots of fun that like the one up one, I feel like you would go crazy with that one. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's probably like the. I mean, in a way, every round could be a one up. You know, every bonus rule could be just the one up because it's just too good. But it's good to have variety as well. It's good to have, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of variety.
Also, the reason we put
Um,
it last is because this way each contestant has like more material to work with because there at that
that
point
makes
there are like
sense.
five moves they can work with instead of just what two or one. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I remember back then it was on third round.
Yeah.
So no, it was on fourth round. So you had like three moves from the
Yeah.
opponent to choose, and yeah, it can be tricky because, for example, if it's a weird cardist, to put it in a way, maybe all of the things he's done are like super impractical. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of weird cardists,
You say weird, but I remember
experimental
you had
cardists.
Marco last time. So yeah. Is
Exactly.
that
That's what I mean. That's what I
yeah, there you
mean. That's
go.
exactly that's exactly what I mean. So yeah, it's been very cool to be on upper bracket, of course. Um, it's more relaxing for sure.
Mm.
That's what I can say. It's definitely a more relaxing experience. But yeah, it's just fun. Like the competition is just fun. So I would actually genuinely enjoy having like a lot of time to prepare, but go all the way from lower bracket.
Okay,
Maybe
maybe next time.
next time. Who knows? Maybe
Maybe next time,
next time.
yeah.
We'll have to see.
Okay, so it sounds like you had a much smoother experience this time, but still had gotta ask, like, what did you find like the most challenging this time?
The most challenging this time. I mean,
Mm,
managing like I don't know how to say it, like managing how I release the material. I think it was tricky because you know I have I value highly all of the moves that I made for this competition. But in a way that can be tricky because you know what I'm saying. You don't know how people is really going to perceive it. So I was like very careful thinking about which one is really like which one are the strongest. You know what I'm saying? Like it was hard for me to truly figure it out because I like them a lot and I worked on them a lot. So I see a lot of value on a lot of them, but you never know. You never know.
mm,
And the only one that I knew that was gonna be tricky, and it was tricky, was Gojo. I
mm,
knew it from the beginning that it was going to be a tricky move to release because I just know how, the way people perceive certain moves compared to other kinds of moves. So for example, if I knew that it would be like dangerous to release it against someone that is used to doing like big moves with tons of packets, like
Yeah.
Bean, for example,
Yeah.
stuff like that. That I knew for a fact that that was a tricky move, and even though I think I released it on the right time, it still turned out tricky. So,
Yeah, it was close.
so
That was close.
it was that was the one that I knew that I had to be careful with. Um, so there were like I was nervous about that, especially the first couple of rounds. I was like, okay, these two moves. I wanted to release both on first and second round. I considered releasing the mirror cube, the one I used
Hmm.
against Santiago.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this. No, I decided for the other one, and then I had like the same process on second round. So yeah, it was very tricky mentally to just know what to release in
Mm.
what order because you never
But
know. And yeah, tell
yeah,
me.
I was just saying, but you usually have like a internal ranking, like you know which one you like the most, right? Do you like out of your moves?
Yeah. I knew for a fact that Ultra Kill and the three moves from the final, those were the ones, that I
Mm.
would be like confident about regardless of the opponent, basically. On the right situation, of course, because you always have to have some amount of strategy with what you do. But I just knew that okay, those are it's about half, it's about half of the moves. So
Mm.
I just have to, and that's what I did. I just have to use one to like secure that I'm getting all the way. Like give, I don't want to leave chances. That's what I use ultra kill early because I was like, okay, in this case it was Jifan, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
Jifan.
you fine, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not giving him a chance you know, to come up with some crazy magic thing,
Crazy
some
magic
absurd
thing.
magic thing.
Man, what did you
Yeah,
find do to you?
yeah, I don't know because he's like he's really good and he's really
Mm.
impressive. So it's like
Yeah,
I don't want to give I don't want to give him a chance to just turn out to have like a secret super insane move. So I just use that one there because just to be safe, basically,
I
just to
see.
be safe.
I see. Mm.
And so that was the strategy to use one of them there and then leave the other three for the final round. So in that regard, it turned out pretty well. Yeah. If if I had to, I probably would have used. Can I talk about the final round moves
Yeah,
now,
we'll
or
get to them in detail later, but you can talk about them for
I can
sure.
mention them?
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
Okay,
for sure.
so I would have used probably postulate of parallel lines
Yeah.
on the semifinal if I felt like okay, I have to lock in here as well. So it would be I would have used that one on the semifinal if I felt like there's no shot. I cannot lose here. I
Wait,
have to
how does the
win.
opponent being Santiago change things for you? Do you go harder because it's him or easier because it's Santiago?
Um, I basically no. I mean, I basically we talked about it a bit. Of course, we just went with each one went with what we felt that was the appropriate move,
Mm,
and that's it. So there was strategy. I would say there was strategy. I was like, um, for example, I used a move that I felt like I could, perform very cleanly, but also had like some nuances that maybe could give me an edge on creativity. Maybe
okay,
that's kind of the mindset. So yeah, we just decided, well, go with what you think is best
I see.
for this round. And so yeah, I had some strategy for it. Um, but if for whatever reason against him or someone else, I felt like even more pressure to win for I don't know any reason, I probably would have used postulate of parallel lines
I see.
just to feel yeah safer, I guess.
Mm,
So
okay.
yeah, that was kind of the journey of just which move here, which move there, and I think it went ideally.
I think
I
now with
haven't
the
seen.
outcome, we can say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it went well. I think it went well for sure. So yeah, that's it.
And so all of the moves, like you this time, were all of them prepared beforehand? Like every single one you had before the tournament even started, or were there like one or two that you came up with during the tournament?
No, this time they are all ideas I had for a while.
Damn, okay.
Um, a couple of them for maybe over a year, I think already. So
I
yeah,
see.
I just did the cardist thing to do and save moves.
Because you
Actually,
had two
just
years
save
this
moves.
time. You had exactly two
Yeah,
years, so
exactly,
that was the exact time frame.
exactly. So yeah, I think the oldest one are both Houdini and Gojo. I think those are the oldest one, and there's actually another move from back then that I didn't use the competition, so I'll see when I can release him because I don't want to save moves for more than a couple of years. That's insane, I think. So I'll have to release that one too at some point. But yeah, those are the oldest ones, and the others I came up with like maybe 6, 7 months ago, around that time.
I see.
Um, so yeah, with some time to prepare, and just to mention already, useful because they are all so tricky to learn, to practice. All of
I
them
would
have
imagine.
their own nuances. So I needed the time because they are all unique in a way. Maybe we'll talk about it later, but yeah, I needed the time for these moves for sure.
Okay. So I think it's time to talk about the elephant in the room, which is you're back in the finals with your brother. And so
Sure.
did you guys see this happening? Like, I mean, obviously it happened once already, but going into it, were you
Of course.
expecting this again or not?
I mean, I assume Santiago will be the one to talk more about this with you, but he wasn't, he didn't have in mind to participate until very late.
Mm.
What was the timeline like? It was like all the way to a few days before the announcement, I think. Just a few days. I think literally just a few days because we were filming his uncut video.
Yeah.
And yeah, and those same days we took the photos for the announcement, and the announcement came out like a couple days later. And while we were filming, he still wasn't sure. So it was literally just a handful of days before that he decided. So yeah, there definitely was not that much of an expectation of doing it. Um, we saw it as a real possibility around round two. That when we were in round two and we started talking about it, and we considered the possibilities of matchups and everything. We were
Mm.
like, yeah, I think you can get it. I mean, Santiago, I knew that I was getting to the final. Like,
You have to be confident to enter, so yeah.
yeah, I knew I was getting to the final, but it was around round two that we were talking. It was like, I think you can get it as well. I mean, the beauty
Mm.
of double elimination bracket is that it's always possible. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
always possible to because there's always a chance, no matter the how the brackets turn out. There's always a chance that two specific people, get to the final. So yeah, at that point, we just were like maybe, and after yeah, by the time we were on winners finals, it was like yeah, it's more likely, yeah,
Yeah.
more likely
Speaking of
for
which, like
sure.
after
Okay,
Santiago went to lower bracket, like he went against Mikako, obviously, and I was just wondering who you're rooting for in that scenario.
man, genuinely, for whoever like put up the better fight, you know. Of
Oh.
course, my brother is my brother, and I was supporting him for sure, and he knows it. But he also knows how I am. I am a competitive person, so if for whatever reason Mecalco, released a monster move, and was like, I'm getting to the final, this is the rematch, I would be like, okay, like I wouldn't be
Okay.
mad about it. You know what I'm saying? I would receive it with a hug.
So for you, it's like whoever deserved it, like whoever's the better card is in that scenario, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because in both cases, it would have been very iconic for me. You know,
Yeah.
um, in this case, it's iconic for both me and Santiago. But in the other case, it would have been iconic for me and Mecalco. So from that perspective, I was like, whatever comes, I'll take it.
Mm.
Um, However, of course, I mean, it's my brother, and I was literally talking to him those days and everything. So he had my support, of course, like it's inevitable. But yeah, if the result would have been like, if the result was different, I would have still been happy
Mm.
about it, because yeah, it would have been fun either way for me,
For
of
you,
course, for
yeah,
me.
for sure.
In this case,
Imagine not
I'm
rooting
being
for your brother.
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
But
so
it's funny though, just to mention it, it's funny that my brother blocked 2 times my rematch with Michalko. That
he
was
did. He
pretty
did.
pretty funny looking. You know what I'm saying? 2 times it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
I know
interesting how that turned out. Yeah.
it was interesting. It was interesting for sure. So yeah, there you go.
You were talking about how you discuss the matchups with your brother, right? Like, do you guys strategize together? Do you show each other your moves? Like, do you know what you're going up against, like in the upper bracket final, or is it just no, like you each decide independently,
um,
but also just consult each other?
yeah. In my case, I showed my brother the concepts, like just to give examples. In Ultra Kill, I showed him the moment, the bend moment, and in Postulate of Parallel Lines, I showed him that when the cards do like this,
Mm. Yeah, I know.
so it
I
was
know what
like
you're talking
this,
about.
and then something happens. I was like, but I didn't show him like the whole thing because I was still working on it. So yeah, I showed him like, look at this, and he was, oh man, that's gonna be crazy if it happens, you know.
Okay, so he's
But
seen glimpses of it, but not all your
exactly,
moves, basically, right?
exactly.
I see.
So yeah, he for example with Ultra Kill, and it was like a repeating comment. It was like, oh, I'm just now realizing that I never saw the full thing. You know, when he saw it finished on on
Mm.
the final take, it was like, oh man, I'm just now realizing that I didn't really know how it was going to look. So yeah, I was only capable of showing him like little glimpses because I was still working on them. So that's what he knew about the moves. In regards of him, he showed me like more of the process. I would say like he would be like, I have this opener, and then a few days later, like I have now this middle part, and he would show me like a few stages of the process.
That's
We
surprising. I thought it
were
would be the other way around because you had more time and his moves were all mostly new. So I thought he
Yeah,
would see
it's
more of your
interesting.
moves, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's because when I showed them mine, it was like a few months ago, and they
Mm.
were all still on progress. So I was like, I have this one, and I have this one, and I have this, and I have this. So I showed him like glimpses of like 10 moves maybe, and that's
Mm.
what he remembered. In his case, he was showing me as the days were passing by during the competition,
I
because
see.
we were together around the time of the first and second round. We were on the same here on the same house
Ah,
before he left to a different state. So we took that time to just talk about his options and stuff. There was a little bit of you know strategy, I guess. I mean, I don't even feel like it counts as a strategy, but just analyzing the situation,
mm.
and me giving him my opinion on his options, basically. Yeah,
I see. I see.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
So the finals will still be fresh for him because I don't know if you remember, but last time we showed you guys each other's moves in these interviews, but this time I decided not to do that because I want to keep it relatively fresh for you guys when you see the posts.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it will be fresh to him, like your moves and his moves too. Do you know what's coming or no?
Yeah, I mean, we have an idea, we have like
You have to.
the
Yeah.
exactly, we have the idea of what's coming, but I mean, we also don't know the order of each other's moves, so that still applies as well. Like the matchups are going to be a surprise for sure as well, and yeah, let's see what happens. But I is this going to come out before or after the final? No, after, right? After the.
It will most likely be at the same time of the announcement
Okay, okay. Just to
of the
be
results.
clear.
I mean, of the results.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Just to be clear on the timeline. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So
So yeah, that's it.
okay, 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 okay. So um let's just get straight to your moves then, since we're already talking about it anyway. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, yeah. So I went through my interview questions for you last time, and I noticed something interesting, which is how I asked you about how your style was shifting away from like interlocks and like your traditional like
Yeah,
CCC 18 style to more towards
yeah,
like experimental like body moves, table moves, like cascades and stuff
yeah,
like that. But this time around, I'm noticing like an interesting like shift back to form, like back to your more signature style with like especially the first couple of moves, like Houdini and Gojo, those were
yeah,
like very interlocky kind of moves. So
yeah, for
I just
sure.
found that very interesting. And was that like a conscious decision from you, or is it just like a natural thing?
Yeah, no, it was conscious because I went through like a character arc between 2021 and 2023. Like everything that happened between Singularity, The Honored One, and Singles
Hmm.
was like me aggressively exploring as much as I could, like exploring everything that I could figure out how to explore. And that was like an insanely fun process. Like I learned so much there, and it was huge for me. That was huge in every way as a creative artist, however you want to put it. However, it's important as an artist as well, in my opinion, to always learn and be capable of realizing where to slow down again. Where to take a moment to, in this case for me, to reflect on, okay, I've been going insane for 3 years, just looking for as many random things that I can find, trying to figure out table moves, body moves, all of this stuff that was new for me. Yeah.
Mm.
So after Singles, and after I basically, kind of reached a very satisfying peak with Snowball,
Mm.
uh, I was like, okay, yeah, this is what it all ended up adding up to that, to that very beautiful creation, and all of the other creations that I like from that process of exploration. So after that, I was like, okay, I need to reflect basically. So of course, I also have a bunch of super weird ideas that I didn't use for this competition, but
Oh.
thinking about the moves that I wanted to put together, like from beginning to end, first, I wanted to go with stuff that basically reflected different stages of my creativity, kind of to test myself as well as please my past self. Let's say like that,
Mm.
because I want to know. For example, after all of that wacky stuff that I came up with for those
Wacky
years, I was
stuff.
like, yeah, I was like, can I still do a three-packet interlock? You know what I'm saying? Can I still put together a sound, clean three-packet interlock cut? I hadn't done that since 2019, which is insane. Like, okay, but can I come back to it and do it in a way that it's on the level that I would want from
Mm.
myself. So, for example, you mentioned those already. Both Gojo and Houdini are like, those are moves that I would have dreamed of in
Mm.
2018. Those are moves that, matter of fact, those are moves that if someone else released them back then, I would have been depressed for years. I would have, I would have been like, oh my gosh, I lost. I this is what I
I
wanted to
lost.
get.
Someone
Yeah, this
out
is what.
interlocked me.
yeah, it would have been like, man, someone got to the point that I wanted to achieve myself.
Mm,
So that's, so that's like those two are a thing where I see them and I'm like, yeah, those are definitely the progression of me from back then. And the interlocks, few packets, very clean, sharp motions, very
yeah,
um,
I know what you're talking about.
square. Yeah, yeah. So that's that. And it was amazing, especially with Gojo, because as I said, it had been so many years since I made a three packet cut. And three packet cuts were like my personality back then.
They were.
So for me to like be like master it again, master the mindset, and honestly come up with something really cool, in my opinion, with the mechanics of the move, I'm like, okay, still got it. I'm happy with that. I can still moving forward again because I'm done with that. The other moves are closer to like my modern self, I would say,
Mm,
especially the final rounds. What my intention on working on all of those moves in particular is that I wanted the whole list to be like a quintessential Davi list of moves. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
So they are all related to the interlocks with Gojo and Houdini. There before keep keep going with that. There's actually a comment that I love from Mirror Cube, my round against Santiago.
Hmm.
Someone made a comment, Davi's move screams Davi. And I'm like, yes, that made me happy because this is exactly what this list of moves kind of is. It's like aggressively me, basically,
Mm.
all of the stuff that I've done. So it's like basically seeing if I can keep up with myself in different times. So like, can I still do the three packet interlock thing? Can I still do, like the aerials, the very specific kind of aerials that I do, very like precise and compact. The bendy move is, singularity, that like related to the stuff that I made on singularity.
Mm.
I even work on with the that sliding mechanic that I've used a few times. I'm like, can I one up it? Can I one up myself, a mechanic that I've used myself? And so it's like the entire list is that me like reflecting on all of the different things that I've done. Um, and I think it was a success because I think it shows a lot of progress from all of my different phases, like all of
Mm.
my different creative phases. At least in my own opinion, of course, if I can say so myself.
That's
So yeah,
actually, yeah, I was gonna say it's just pretty next level that you're curating your moves for the competition like it's like a album of sorts, right? Because like most
yeah,
people
it
like
is.
they aren't in the luxury to do that. Like they just put out whatever moves is they think is the highest
Yeah, of
quality
course.
regardless of the style and all that, right? But you're out here
Yeah, yeah,
trying to
of
make
course.
it all cohesive.
Yeah, yeah. For example, and of course, um, we are all on different levels, and that's fine. But yeah, I intentionally for that's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
I'm gonna quote
But
you on that. We're all on different
uh,
levels, and that's fine.
that's fine. But yeah, for example, I intentionally try to leave out the table, the body, and the spread things because I see those as like my secret weapons kind of
Mm,
things. You know what I'm saying? They are very specific. They require a lot of mental gymnastic to keep making them feel fresh.
mm.
They're like this very specific thing that I use them a lot a couple of years ago. So this was like, okay, I'm going to put those aside and I'm going to try to use these new skills that I have and I guess all around creative abilities on the stuff that I've done before and things that I in general feel that reflect my work basically.
Okay, so
Um,
is it fair to say
yeah.
that you went through like your 3 year journey of trying those styles, but you still prefer like what you've put out in this competition? Like this reflects you better? Is that fair to say?
No, I don't think so because I still really like the other stuff.
Okay, okay.
I
But you're
still
just
really
not
like
showing
the
them, but you
table.
like them and they're there. You are creating them. It's just not here, right?
Exactly. They are just not here, but and also they are like the next extremely experimental step of my style. And that's what I was doing before, you know?
Mm,
So I wanted to do the stuff that I wasn't doing last time, basically. I, um, that's what I leave them aside for this first list so that I can, I want to keep people guessing what kind of stuff I'm going to do. I want to keep them guessing. They think that now I'm the table guy. Well, no.
The table guy.
No, I'm
No, I
not.
don't
I'm
think
not.
anyone thought of you as the table guy, to be
Yeah,
fair.
no, of course not. That's Kevin. That's Kevin Wolf for sure. So yeah, and you mentioned the album thing, and I'm going to sound like a madman, but I was very intentional with the music as well. For example, the music that I put on the clips. I don't know how many people noticed, but all of the songs are all different remix, a different remix.
Mm.
Of one song. They are all the same song, but different versions. Um, I don't know how many people noticed, but that part I just did for myself.
Dude,
But
I was gonna ask you about that when we go through like the moves one by one because I noticed that and I was like
interesting.
knowing you and what you did for like 2018, I was like, okay, there has to be something here, but I don't know what it is. I know it's like he's
Yeah,
doing something with the music, but
I'm doing something. I'm doing something, and to connect it to what I'm talking about, it's similar to the process that I decided to go through with like they are all different versions of the same thing, right?
Mm,
The same way I'm kind of like exploring the different little elements of my style, bringing back some old elements, some of the more like newer elements, but they are all my style. That's what I like a lot. That comment of like, this moves, Davi's move screams Davi because that's kind of the vibe that I had for myself, and the music reflects that, in my opinion. Like just using different versions of the same thing that they clearly have the same source, but they all have their own unique elements.
mm.
And also, I just really like that song has a ton of versions, and I thought it would be cool as a kind of, soundtrack for my run of the competition. So like the main rhythm of the song, I think that by the end you relate it to the run of the competition, or at least that's what I would hope that happens.
Wait, so what is the
And
song?
it's just a song that became popular online, and a lot of people make their own versions.
Huh.
It's mainly because of the theme. I'm not going to go into it too much, but basically, it has like a video game theme. It's like the song is like, imagine that you're a character in a video game, and
Yeah.
this is the song that sounds when every time you die.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so a lot of people like that, and a lot of people made their own version, like, oh, this song but I have an extra life, or this song but we go down together, so
I
it's like
see.
a lot of people made their own versions with the concept of the video game fight that was going on around the song. So I just like that. I like to see that, and I wanted to use them for something, so I think it was pretty appropriate. um yeah, there might still be more to it, but I don't know, we'll have to wait and
There
see.
is? Okay.
Maybe.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
We'll find out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So
yeah, that's the intention behind like the moves and the way I presented them and all of it. That's the entire like creative vision behind my run in the competition on the general sense.
okay. So you mentioned that you still have like these other styles of moves that you didn't use in the competition, right? So that kind of
Yeah.
leads into this next question, which is, so regardless of the outcome of this tournament, like what's next for you as a cardist?
Um, More tournaments.
More tournaments. It
More
just doesn't
tournaments. Yeah.
end.
Yeah,
Oh
it
shit.
doesn't end.
You're competitive
I
for
mean,
real.
yeah, at this point I can't stop. I have to become the real predator, you know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
I don't know how the whole predator thing with the 5 times world champion that he has on some of the video titles
Yeah.
on YouTube. I don't know what's that.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know how that ended up happening, but I want to be the real dad. I want to be the real multi-time world champion. I mean, I'm about to be potentially. I don't know, but I'm
Hmm?
about to be the only other 2 times world champion.
Oh.
Maybe.
Wait. Hold up. Trevor.
Trevor. That's what I mean. The only other two-time
Oh, you
world
said
champion.
other. I thought you said only.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
only other is
No, no,
fair.
the
Only
only
other is
other
fair.
two-time world
Okay,
champion.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
That's awesome. But someone has to get the third one.
And five,
Someone has
apparently,
to
for the YouTube
five
title.
eventually. But yeah, no. Jokes aside, I just want to keep having fun with the competitions. And I also think I've realized after doing, projects with you guys and other people and going through all of the different ways to release material and stuff like that, this is the way that helps me send my message
Really?
better, which is, yeah,
Interesting.
because I try to challenge you, like all of you, and say, I am trying to create a narrative of confrontation, basically. I think David's character in the cardistry community is that he clearly thinks that he's better than you. You know it. You see him doing cardistry. You see him doing cardistry, and you know that he thinks he's better than you.
Oh my
He's
God.
he's the one that says so. Like it's not like other people. He's like, no, yeah, definitely the best cardist. So you know what I'm saying? It's not like that kind of narrative. It's more the narrative of he's the one that says it first before before anyone gives their opinion. You just see a Davi move and you're like, he thinks he's better than me.
He did say
Um,
that everyone is on different levels. He did say
Everyone's
that.
on different levels. So I like the narrative because I like a lot the idea of pushing yourself through the competitive mindset. It's something that I just enjoy myself. I enjoy that a lot. It's a fun way to challenge your energy. Your desire to get better at something. If you have a way to feel like you are on a challenge, literally.
Mm.
And for me, it works. And I just want to also be that for other people. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be someone that people look at, and I'm like, in my case, I can surpass him. I can be better than him. He thinks he's better than me. I can be better than him. So come try me. Then come try me.
Mm.
So I also try to kind of have that vibe with the solo videos, like the non-competitive solo videos. But of course, like the message is not the same if you are not actually, on this competitive setting. So I just feel like the whole villain character and everything related to the kind of persona that I try to make for the community makes more sense in competitions. The same way that in 2018 I came out of nowhere. And you want to know what my intention was coming out of nowhere like that? I wanted to get people scared. I wanted to get people scared. Like, oh, you wanted to be on that competition. Well, look, out of nowhere, there's someone that's clearly with intentions of going crazy on this competition. I didn't win, of course. I'm not
Close
delusional. I
enough.
know that I didn't. I know that I didn't win. But what I'm saying is like that's always the kind of experience that I want to give. Like creating a kind of antagonist in a way
Mm.
for other people to get inspired to get better. Just that's at the end of the day, that's what I want to see. If I win this competition, for example, if I win, I don't know if I'm gonna win.
We'll
I
see.
clearly think that I'm gonna win. But if I win, for a fact that I'll be again next time. So I'll be like, well, you think you can take it from me? You think you can take the bottom from me? You think you can take shit? I moved this and everything. I got too
You
excited.
got so excited with the
Um,
video.
yeah. So and if someone spends these next couple of years practicing like crazy just to shut me up, just to be like, shut the
Shut the
hell up.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can
Yeah.
say that in this interview.
It's okay.
So yeah,
Worst case, we'll beep it out.
awesome. So,
Yeah.
so, so if someone becomes the best cardist in the world just to shut me up in a couple of years, well,
Worth
I'll be
it.
happy.
Hey, worth
Yeah,
it.
I'll be
Yeah.
happy because that's the kind of thing that I like, and it's why I'm just like, yeah, I can do performance videos. I've talked to you about a couple of funny ideas that I have for performance videos.
Yep.
So that's fine. I love it creatively and artistically, but in terms of the experience that I want to give to the community, the way I want to express my cardistry approach, competitions are definitely like the thing for me. So I'm just going to keep going, and I'll either become the undisputed best competitive cardist of all time, and you cannot say anything about it, or someone else going to get really good at it, and I'll have fun with a rival.
Dude, that is super interesting because from a lot of the conversations I've had with other people, they find that
Yeah,
they're better at expressing themselves because they have more creative freedom in like solo videos. But because
yeah,
they feel like with a competition, there's the constraint of like whether it's us or other competitions, there's always like a format you have to adhere to, like a time limit or one move per round, or and there's a
yeah.
deadline, there's a schedule you have to be like on schedule like every week. So that you have a very different perspective from all of these other people.
Yeah, I think it's related to where do you find the freedom, the creative freedom. I find it on the narrative I can create around the material and the yeah around the material that I'm going to release, right?
Mm.
Where want to express myself the most is in the narrative. You know what I'm saying? The moves and everything are kind of like the tools that I use to create a narrative.
Mm.
And when you see it like that, releasing a video for people to watch and comment, oh, nice, doesn't give me a lot of narrative freedom. But being in a competition, ideally one that lasts for a few months, where there are different stages. You know
It's
what
a
I'm saying?
journey.
Where
Yeah, it's a journey,
it's
the
a
whole thing.
journey, and there is a reason to take it, to take the material on a different level. You know, to appreciate it on a different level because you are going to compare it to other people, you're going to compare it to other material, you're going to in this case score it with numbers, and yeah, that can feel bad sometimes, that can feel like, oh man, like I don't want you to put a score on my stuff,
Mm.
I'm just doing it as an artist. But I mean, in for my approach and what I want to give, which is, as I am saying, like an experience about like the entire process of, in this case, a competition, it just makes more sense to me. Um, Especially, I think, is the factor that it happens through time, right? It happens
Yeah.
through a period of time, and the material is being released constantly. So that creates a narrative, and that's what I
Mm.
like. Mm, so yeah, I'm going to use solo videos, at least the ones made for me. Of course, if I have to make a promotional video, I'm going to, be very serious about it and treat it like professionally. But I'm going to use like solo videos in the future for just exploring fun ideas, like getting a bit goofy with that kind of stuff, some funky, not so serious ideas in the future for solo
Hmm.
videos, um, because I enjoy that. But in terms of giving my 100%, is like, yeah, competitions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's literally the opposite of like just about everyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and
I like the way you put it. It's either you're the best, you prove you're the best, or someone gets really good and proves you wrong. And this is a win-win no
that's
matter
it.
what, right? It's a win-win
No matter
for
what, no
everyone.
matter what, I give. If someone beats me, it's because they truly are the best cardist of all time. So I'm giving
Yeah.
you the best cardist of all time.
Okay,
And
that's
if not,
good.
I am the best cardist of all time.
Okay, you've
Because I
said
say,
some explosive shit that I could use for like the teaser. This is great.
yeah, I have to do it because I need to shake people up.
Somebody has
I
to.
need to. somebody has to get shaken up by this. There you go.
All right, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Okay. So with that with that, I think we're now gonna move to the moves, like the moves like the for the final. Yeah.
perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
awesome.
So
I want to know your opinion too. I guess you're going to ask me first, but yeah, I'm excited to
well,
see
I can't give you like my
how
full
it's like.
opinion right now, but
Of
hey,
course.
but
Well,
we'll
yeah,
go
you
through
ask
it.
me. You ask me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
go
you
through
ask
it.
me.
So the first one,
Okay.
let's go in order. Let's go in order.
Okay.
So postulate of parallel lines. You mentioned this one quite a bit early. Also random, but these names, like all caps
They
and
are
no
goofy,
space, that's
right?
all intentional, right? Right? It's no space in all caps,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They are like long names, like non-long, very technical sounding names.
They're very aggressive sounding. Like it sounds like
Yeah,
you're shouting them.
yeah, yeah. They are funky for sure.
Okay, so that's a
I
choice,
develop
huh?
a taste. Yeah, I develop a taste for like or like unnecessarily long names for media. So I'm applying that to cardistry basically. Yeah.
Okay. All
There is
right.
this book that I really like, which is named All Tomorrows: The Myriad Species and Mixed Fortunes of Man is the
Oh
full
yeah, that
name.
is long, all right.
And I'm like, I love that so much. I want to, I want to do something similar for Cardistry.
Your next solo video
So,
title is gonna be crazy long.
oh yeah, for sure, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a super long name for each solo video from now on.
And all caps with no
Um,
spaces.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, postulate of parallel lines. What you want to ask about it?
Yeah, yeah. So, like, just basic background on the move first. Like, you mentioned, I know you mentioned already that you created all of them, like, before the competition, but, like,
Yeah,
in the timeline, where does this one fall? Like, is it closer to the competition or, like, one of the earlier ones?
this one I was. It took a while. It was a long process because I really wanted to do something with um, kind of splitting the three cards like that at the beginning. The
Yeah.
way they on top of the structure they split like this. That's something I took from Hyder.
Oh.
Um, you
Hmm.
know, the last move of his last round of Fontaine trials, he creates a structure where like he splits multiple packets like that and
Hmm.
creates like an open structure that way.
Yeah. I need to go back and check the move,
Um,
but I know this kind of structure you're describing from the move. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So basically, I just really like the idea of splitting packets in that kind of like flower fan position, but with packets.
I
You
see.
know? Yeah. So I just took it as the opener and I was messing around with it for a while. I then found, the idea of balancing them on the edge, like the way I do. Eventually, after that, I found that I could do like a one up of my mechanic of just sliding a single card
Paradigm
on
shift,
top of
right? Was it?
exactly the
Yeah,
one
that's
from
that's the
Paradigm
move
Shift.
I thought of when I saw this. Yeah.
Exactly. And I also use it on the first move of Singularity. So it's a mechanic that I have explored.
Mm.
In this one, I just found, hey, what if I do it with two cards? And that was an insane idea. So they are going on their own uh, path. And that's extremely difficult.
I would
that
imagine,
turned out
yeah.
that turned out extremely challenging for sure. But I am happy that I end up going with it. The moment where I was like, oh shit, this I'm going to love this, is when I realized that I could go all the way around. When I realized that it was physically possible to just go all the way around the packet, yeah, this is a banger. This is great.
Mm.
Um, because I mean, what else do you want? It's such a beautiful motion. If I can say so myself, it's just such
Mm.
an amazing motion. Going all the way around with the two cards in that with that action. So I end up super happy about it. The little spicy thing of the packet going like this on its own,
Yeah.
I think that's what makes the move. If that wasn't there, I think it wouldn't work. But I'm glad that I found that. That's what gives it kind of a dynamic feel.
I see.
Because it's like this happens and then that happens and then it closes. So it's like it all came together very well, and it all started from just the idea of playing around with those three cards on that initial position. And the closer is what it has to be because
Yeah.
the move is too hard, so I have to close it before I fuck it up after going all the way around.
Yeah, that's
There you go.
reasonable. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Wait, so is there any logic, like, what's your reasoning behind this one being first, or is it just kind of random?
I think it's the most traditionally good move all around from the package.
Hmm.
So I wanted to start with that one.
So you feel like it's
It's
the
the one that
safest
feels
move?
um I guess it can feel like that,
Okay, I see.
because we're going to talk about them. The other move is extremely experimental in a
Oh
way,
yeah,
and the last move is very specific. So I'm starting with the more traditionally sound move,
I see.
with a solid ground, starting with a solid ground. Yeah,
I think
that's the
because of the
logic.
mechanic you mentioned, like the sliding along the surface, this is also the move that feels to me to be the most like signature your style out of the three.
Out of the three, for sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Since you already mentioned it, like biblically accurate angel. Like this move is I feel like
Beautiful.
I can't speak for the other judges, but I think this one is very polarizing. I think some people love it, some people say like it's just what is this? Is this even a move? You know, I can imagine that already. Like what are your
Yeah,
thoughts on it?
it's just that I just I like the move. It came from wanting to do to hold that grip, wanting to create that
The three
position. Yeah,
packets?
and then I found that that the idea of making them go back and forth was a way of using them, and I just thought about the biblically accurate angels that I was. It's like it's been like a meme for a while. The
Yeah.
the the picture, and it was when I created the move. It was like an active thing. It was when it was happening. So I'm like, oh yeah, just like a biblically accurate angel. And and so I decided to go all in and make it just like a performance of the creature basically. Um, it's aggressively experimental for sure, but I couldn't love it more.
I feel like
It's
it's especially funny because like you know how Karji has like this angel and
exactly. So
yeah
the meme applies. The meme
it
applies
does. It
because
does.
the full meme is that what how is it going? Yeah, what pop culture thinks that angels look like, and it's just a
Yeah.
normal angel, and then what biblically angels actually look like, and then you have like the big
And then you have
creature. So
this beast of a
exactly.
move.
So it works perfectly. So I am expecting 10 points on intent. Thank
Oh.
you very much.
I will help
Thank
you
you very
relay
much.
that to the other judges.
Now they have to come to that conclusion. If not, they're wrong. They are
Oh man,
objectively
okay.
wrong.
We'll see. We'll see.
um, yeah, yeah. No, but it was just that. It was the process of coming up with the idea and realizing that it works. It makes sense within the context of cardistry. Because we have the angel.
Yeah.
So I just decided I'm going to go all in, and it turned out. I like the way it turned out a lot. I don't know what to tell you.
Dude,
You
it's
might
definitely
have your
interesting. Like
opinion. I
this
have
is
your
the type of
opinion.
move where like the name makes a move. Like without the context of the name, people would be like, "What is
Yeah.
happening?" Like,
Yeah, without the context, I don't think I would do that. Like it would just, I wouldn't get to that idea even because the move is the name. I'm mimicking a creature flying
yeah,
around, so that's what it is, and I like it. I mean the mechanic and the whole way the structure holds together is like very justified, and it has a decent opener and closer. So I'm very happy with the final result
dude,
in
it
general.
actually reminds me of one of your moves from like CCC 18 with like the
There
Pringle,
there you go. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
This is like a both a more original version as well as a more practical one
yeah. That
because
was
that one
the
is
not
a
so biblically accurate angel.
yeah, that one was an unrealistic move. that one didn't have a closer or anything. I mean, it was just like a
You just
weird.
exposed yourself.
I mean, come on. If you think that structure has a closer, you're insane. You come up with a closer. You come up with a closer for that thing.
Dude.
But yeah, that move didn't have a closer or anything like that. So I did. When I decided to put this together and I realized what I was doing, I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm actually even doing something that it's already close to my taste. So I went with that. I mean, if I already like this kind of stuff. And I turned it into a practical thing that you can do from beginning to end. So yeah, I guess that if I can analyze it for a moment, maybe the fact that the other one is so impractical gets the message through easier, that it's like a little experimental thing. But I mean, I see the value in making something extremely experimental and being able to package it within a traditional
Yeah,
move
it has.
structure with an
It feels more
opener
like a
and
real
a
move this
closer.
way. Yeah, people take it more
Exactly.
seriously for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
So that's what I would hope. However, I can imagine. I mean, the visual is striking, so I would hope that people appreciate that. Especially the first one where you don't know what I'm doing, and then I reveal it for the first time.
yeah.
I feel like that's cool. I feel like that's cool.
The
You should
display,
like it.
this I think the display is objectively cool, and people will just disagree over whether the extra flaps are like whether it's too experimental or they actually like it. I think that's where people will disagree.
Yeah, but the extra swinging of the wings is the move.
I
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
With the
That's the
name, with the
move. You
context of the
have to.
name, that is the move. Yes, I
That
get it.
is the move. That exactly. So you have to get in the mindset that the action of flying, the action of flowing like that, that's the move. It's very
Mm.
experimental. So yeah, I can see some weird comments about it, but you just have to get on the mindset to see that it's a very specific kind of move, you know? Similar to my brother's move, Interstellar, where it's like you have to appreciate the fact that he's mimicking a thing, and that's part of the value of the move. Because if
Yeah.
you see that one as just a skater cut, you're going to lose over half of the point, right?
Yep.
So there you go. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that with that we can move to the next one.
Yeah.
Law of attraction.
Law of
Okay.
attraction. Yeah.
Law of attraction.
Beautiful
This
move.
is
Beautiful move.
I believe this is the only aerial. Is this your only aerial this whole run?
I mean, you can count Houdini, I think, up to a certain extent.
Oh, I guess.
Well,
Houdini is like the
just a little bit.
instantaneous aerial, like barely.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very specific micro aerial thing. But yeah, this is a real aerial move for
Micro
sure.
aerial is such a cool category for a move. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's what I do when I throw, that's my style of aerials. It's like very compact little
Mm,
moments in the middle of the air. Um, so yeah, even this one, I think that counts as a kind of my like very small aerial when you know that it comes from the very huge loom move with the leg.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, this is
Oh,
also
I
like,
didn't notice that. Was that the inspiration for this?
yeah, of course,
Mm.
that's it.
Ah, there you go.
you, I
Hey.
also, I also made the version with just the arm last year, so I've been thinking about that move a lot.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's what's the name? Law of attraction.
Law of attraction.
It's
So, out of these moves, is there like, do you have a personal favorite or not?
I'm just too proud of law of attraction. I
Mm.
mean,
Oh, interesting.
it's I know the structure and the closer are very minimalist, but what do you want from me? Like that aerial move is very tricky. So I had to be very optimal. I have to be very, very like I have to have a good strategy for the opener and the closer so that I could, get the most out of the move. So I can appreciate and respect if people think that it's too simple, maybe. But the aerial is not.
Dude, it
The
is simple
aerial
in a
is
good
not.
way. You don't want a overly like long and complicated opener and closer for an aerial move. Like you just don't want that. It's not
Exactly,
efficient.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you only see those elements, yeah, it's almost like the movie is almost non-existent, you could say. But when you take in consideration the aerial and the entire mindset around it, like having the ramp, having the part that catches it, the way it all connects, and just how cool the aerial is, in my own opinion, of course, it's just too cool. And I managed to get a pretty much perfect take of the landing of
Yeah,
the.
I was so surprised how it just closes square, like
Yeah,
perfectly
that's
square.
beautiful.
Crazy.
You know for a fact that that's not something that I can fully control.
I know. That's why I'm
I
impressed. Yeah.
obviously, I obviously cannot control that to a 100% of any. Yeah, it's just not impossible, but I would need what? How many years to be 100% consistent with this action? So the fact that I got that much of a beautiful take of the landing, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the best take of the run.
Yeah, considering
um,
the move, like that performance is practically flawless.
exactly, exactly. So in that regard, I am like very, very proud of being able to capture that take of that move. I definitely consider that postulate of parallel lines, as I said, is like the most sound, like safe and sound all around. It's an extremely complete move. I doubt anyone is going to have any complaint about that one.
True. It's
I
just
think
a
I think you would have
traditionally
to be
good move.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that, and I appreciate that. But I just can't help but be extremely happy that I managed to land that take for Law of Attraction,
No, that's
because it's
fair. I
just
think
too
that's
good.
fair.
It's too clean. It's that pride of like, yeah, I caught it.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
I
I
nailed it.
get it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
it. Like you got the take and you're like, okay, this is it. This is the fucking take.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What else was I gonna do?
Yeah.
For sure. And it's also just like, I think it's a move that reflects a lot of the stuff that I like in cardistry. It's a very minimalist move. So it reminds me of my early moves, but it's also like a very risky, creative thing with the aerial. And it just has all of the elements that I like from cardistry.
Mm.
So it's just in general a move that I'm extremely, I'm a fan of the move, basically. I'm a fan of that move. That one and Ultra Kill are probably the two moves that
Favorites?
yeah, more a fan of, because they're the stuff that yeah, I want this. This is what I want from cardistry. Something that I was thinking about that I didn't mention is that this is something that I wanted to achieve last time, but this time it's better done. The moves are just better prepared, of course, that's it. But each move of the final round asks of you to judge it on its own terms, right?
Mm.
Each one has to be appreciated on a different way, because they are very different moves.
They are.
You have to have a different mindset to fully appreciate each one of them. We already talked about that with biblically accurate angel. You can totally miss the point of that move if you try to judge it on the same way that you judge postulate of parallel lines.
Yeah.
So that's like creatively the thing that I've been proud of the most, basically since my entire creative exploration phase that we talked about earlier, like being able to put together moves that work on their own terms. Like you have to get on a different mindset to appreciate it fully, and being able to do that on each one of the three moves for the final, it's something that leaves me very happy. Basically, I tried to do something similar the last one, but of course, this time I had just more time to prepare them, and it's just they are really cool in that regard. I really like being able to do that. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and you're striving for something that is not even something we judge. It's like the stylistic range of the moves, right? Like that, we shouldn't be judging that, but it's something you do
Yeah,
like just
exactly.
for the viewing experience
But
anyway.
yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
am telling you, look at how much I am capable of doing, basically. Look at my range, look at my creative range,
Mm.
which, as you're saying, it in theory, it doesn't give me any advantage, but is the experience that I'm giving, which relates to what we were talking about earlier as well, is part of the entire experience, basically.
Yeah, and it's entertainment value for the audience too. I'm sure they'd rather see this than three interlock cuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one thing people said back in 2018, and you cannot say that anymore.
You took it to heart too, because I know
I
like
took
even
it
in
to heart.
2018, like you were shifting the styles as you were going in the later rounds.
I
So
was trying. I was
yeah.
trying. Back
No, you could
then,
tell. Yeah, I could
I
tell, yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was trying to achieve that, and I just kept going with that goal of being able to have that strength, because that was like the one weakness that a lot of people decided to point out to. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to work on that, and that's been part of my journey ever since, for sure.
No, I like it because I feel like this time we can really appreciate it. Like I remember in 2018, I saw you doing that, shifting the styles. You included some like ISO stuff starting in like round three, I believe. And
Yeah,
personally,
yeah,
I felt like it was like it didn't feel as complete as your other material. And I suspected that it was
exactly.
more recent and that you were trying to like vary the styles. But now with
Yeah, yeah.
with this tournament, you had like so much time to prepare. It's executed like perfectly, I think. The style, the range, I mean.
And it you need to unlock the understanding of how to create in different ways.
Mm.
That's the part that you cannot force. That's why if I was capable of doing aerial moves back in 2018, I would have done it for the final, for example. But it takes time for you to figure out how to put in real life what you are trying to achieve. So for example, with aerials, I achieved that with chopsticks in
Yeah.
2019. And you can see me after that being able to do it again and again and again with different mechanics, with different positions, with different structures, because I figured it out when I created that move. And ever since, I've been able to understand. And you can see now this move, law of attraction. I'm still using that mindset that I figured out back then. Same with bendy moves in 2021. I figured it out. I figured them out back then, and you can see me now being able to do it again. And same with the spreads and all of those different things. You need to first unlock the understanding of, okay, but how do I personally do this? How do I create a, a table move in my style? And after you get to that point, you are able to do it more and more often. Every time you try it again, it gets easier and easier. So back in 2018, I literally only had figured out three packet interlock cuts. That was the one thing that I knew how to produce. Now I've been able to, basically master this extra range, which I enjoy a lot, to be able to work on all of these different things and just have fun,
Yeah.
basically.
That's where that exploring like time comes in, right? That 2021 to 23. Like without that, like
Exactly.
it has to start like that. You have to
Exactly.
force yourself to go out of your own style. But over time, like you could do these things like you said, like your aerials in a more original and authentic way, more like true to you with experience, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So I think that covers the moves then. And
Awesome.
all we have left is like the rapid fire questions. So
Let's go.
yeah, let's just
Okay.
get that. And so the answers should just be most, of course you can expand if you want to, but they should be like a single
Yeah.
word. So all
Fine,
right.
fine.
You ready? Fine.
Okay, okay, let's go. Let's see
All
what you
right.
got for
So
me.
which matchup of yours did you enjoy the most?
Oh, that's I guess I have to go with the controversial one with the Gojo versus
Mm,
what's the name? Cleve.
Cleve.
That's how you
Even the
pronounce
name
it?
lined up.
Cleve.
Like
Yeah.
it's too perfect.
Yeah, it's Jujutsu Kaisen reference. It was, and also I was able to. to post a little bit of, of tease to the audience after I won with the little Jujutsu Kaisen clip that I posted
It
of
gave you more
Gojo.
reason to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I did. You guys know what I
I
did.
People know. People know. They
So
know
it
too
was just
well.
fun. Yeah, yeah. It was fun. I just can't help it. But that's in terms of the matchup, yeah. Because I
Okay.
also like the moves. But in terms of the matchup, that one, yeah,
Okay.
that's
And
it.
which matchup that isn't yours did you find the most entertaining?
Ooh, damn. Um, there were a lot of good ones, but let me think of one when the two participants uh, decided to go hard at it.
Mm.
Um, Damn, there were a lot of good ones. Like,
You could
I
do a top
I
three if you
really like.
wanted.
I no, I'll just mention one because I genuinely really like the moves. I really like Vin versus Kevin Wu. I
That's
think
a
that
good one.
was the two of them decided to go with really impressive moves. Of course, Vin had the little like disadvantage in theory of the move
Old?
not being, yeah, so the move being old, exactly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, those were two beautiful moves by all means, the two of them. Um, and it was just sick because it was also like at the beginning of the competition, so
First
everyone went
round.
hard
Yeah.
that first round,
Yeah.
everyone went super hard first round. So I just to give a shout out to round one in general, and just yeah, Vin and Kevin Wu definitely went crazy. And shout out to Vin. I mean, com- Cardi's three in competitions is weird because of that, because by all means, that move was one of the standouts of the competition. If it
Yeah.
wasn't for it being old, it's an amazing move. It's just that the competitive setting is complicated in that
It
regard.
is.
Yeah,
Objectively, it's just a great move, but it has to
yeah,
be,
by all
yeah, the
means.
old move aspect has to be part of the competition, or Buck can just come in and win with Pandora every round, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a good list of moves that I could repeat. It's
Yeah,
like
you
eternally.
do. You just do snowball every round.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's complicated. It's just
It's just
complicated.
part of the
But
game, yeah.
yeah, it's part of the game. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that would be it.
All right. So who would you have liked to compete against but didn't get the chance to?
Man, Michalko,
Yeah,
of course.
that's the obvious
It
one.
has to be Michalko. Shout out to him, man. It still was amazing to be in the same competition. Of
Hmm.
course, it was so fun.
All right. And who's someone you did not want to go against?
Who did not want to go against?
For any reason.
Maybe for any reason. Yeah, of
For
course,
any
for any
reason. Yeah.
reason. Um, I'm maybe just in general, a lot of the guys that this felt like the first competition for a few guys, right? I can't name them all properly, but I saw like a few new faces that I don't usually see in competitions. What I'm trying to
Hmm.
say, and um, I know it can be mentally tricky to go against someone that you feel that it's good, like in this case, I've been in a lot of competitions. So I'm happy that I got to be with people that are already a bit more used to competition, and have guys that are having their first experience just go against each other is what I mean, because I remember there were a few rounds of people that I hadn't seen before going against each other, and I think that's healthy basically. So I'm happy I didn't have to go against uh,
Hmm.
someone and make their first experience a bit more intense than it has to be. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, that would be it. Yeah, that would
Okay.
be it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we already asked this earlier, actually. What was your favorite move of your own that was shown in this tournament? So I guess but you said two. Like, if you had to pick one, then.
Damn. Um, it's
Oh,
hard
that's
to
tough.
tell because it's tough because I feel like I desire from the bottom of my heart to be able to do law of attraction every time I want in front of anyone. You know what I'm saying? In front of, so that's something that I'm like, man, I want to, but I do, I think that there are a lot of creative achievements within the full design of Ultra Kill. With the, for example, like the creative way of unbending the
The
card,
Ben.
like bending it back to fix it as and moving the structure with it. I think that's really fun. And also the bending itself, it's something that I haven't seen before. I don't know if it exists or not, but it's something that I hadn't seen before. Someone bending it from that position, like
That way, in
connected
that
to a
way, I don't
pocket.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that from the amount of creative achievements within the move, maybe Ultra Kill in that regard.
Okay.
But as I said, I also want to work on on the other one until I'm able to do it always. So it's they're
So that affects
split.
your
I'm
answer? Like,
split.
oh, you're still split. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I'm split.
We'll
I'm
leave it
split.
at
Yeah,
that. We'll leave it
I
at
got
that.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so what's your favorite move that isn't yours in this competition?
Oh man, it probably would have to be one of Jifan's moves, or maybe let me see if there's another one. Maybe also Kevin Wood's first move that I already mentioned.
Mm,
I don't know, but just to give a different shout out, I think that I would go with Jifan in general. I really liked his audition. I really liked his first round. I really liked the idea behind his round against me, even though it wasn't finished. I really
yeah.
like that. And I mean, you can see some bias. He's definitely working on a similar mindset that I work on sometimes. You can see some, I can relate to some of his ideas basically. So that's like a kind of biased response to seeing something that is the kind of stuff that I like to do as well, seeing glimpses of that basically. But yeah, his first round, for example, was insane, as well as the audition. I actually think that he would have crushed this competition if you know he had more material prepared, because he
Yeah.
clearly ran out of time basically to finish the moves. But he's crazy. I'm just gonna leave it at that. He's
He
crazy,
is.
and I hope to see more finished material, more finished material from him. And this just goes to show that I was respecting him a lot, and that's why I used Ultra Kill there. I was respecting his run a lot. So yeah, that would be.
Mm. And it's interesting that you mentioned the style thing because the judges actually noticed in like round one of Yifan's run, the judges were talking about how it felt very much like you. I don't know why. I think it might be the closer. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It was like three
Yeah, I
packets that just
mean,
went square. It
yeah.
felt,
Also,
yeah.
the mechanic. It's you can relate it to my move from the Honored
Chopsticks?
one. The one, no, the one where the card
Oh.
goes back and forth on the table
Oh, I
from the
know what
Honored.
you're talking about. We were thinking chopsticks, but yeah, that I guess that one too,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, but there you go. It's like a mix, right? It's like a
Yeah.
mix of things. I really like this motion of back and forth. Basically, I really like having cards on straight paths. Basically,
Oh, we can tell.
straight lines. So, so yeah, you can I can see it as well. I can see it.
Okay. And last one. Oh no. No, yeah, it is the last one. Okay, so who would you be excited to see enter the competition next time around?
Man, just to keep letting the message clear.
Yeah.
Anyone who thinks that can beat me, basically.
Whoever is the best, basically, huh?
Whoever is there, if you think you can beat me, you better try it, because if not, I am going to win the competition 2 times in a row, and I'm going to be 3 times Cardistry World Champion, and you are not going to be able to make me stop talking about how I am the best cardist of all time.
Oh
So
man.
you better stop me, because you're running out of chances. You're running out of chances. I might win this competition. I still don't know for real, by the way, for people watching, I still genuinely don't know if I
Results
win.
aren't out yet at this point when we're recording this.
For
Yeah.
real, it's real. I am not making a meme. I genuinely don't know, but I I think that I might win. So time's running over for you. So you better work for the next one if you want to
Oh
stop me.
man. Oh man, what have we
There you
done?
go.
What have we done? We
Yeah,
created the
what have you guys
platform
done?
for you to do this.
You gave me the platform because you
Yeah.
literally have to take the trophy from my hands. You literally
Oh
have to take
man.
the trophy from my hands. It couldn't be more real. You have to take it from me. So
Okay.
give it a go.
Okay, I think that's a good point to end it then. The open challenge to anyone.
Open challenge to anyone who wants to give me a good fight next time
Okay,
around. There you
perfect.
go.
So, do you have anything you want to say before I get into like the questions I have prepared?
Well, no, really, I'm just extremely happy and excited about all this happening again. I don't know how it's happening again, but hey, here we are.
It's totally scripted. We totally scripted
Oh
it.
yeah, for sure. Don't trust this guy. This guy's a genius writer.
Oh man, people are gonna clip that out of context. It's gonna be great. All right.
Nice.
Well, with that said, let's get into it then. So, how do you feel about the tournament, like just overall so far, and how does it differ from your experience last time around?
Well, um, I really enjoyed this tournament a lot. Like compared to the previous one, it's like first time I had like a lot of stakes for myself since I don't know, it was my first time coming out in the community and all that. Like I really wanted to win that tournament because it was like, all right, I want to enter and win and be like my big reveal and all that.
Mhm.
So and it worked. I don't know how, but it did. So this time it was a lot more chill for me in a way that it was like, all right, I did my best last time, so whatever happens this time, I'll just enjoy it. And yeah, the biggest difference I would say is the fact that last time I had a lot of stuff, a lot of moves. You know, I've been saving for years, and after that tournament and the Juvia solo video, I really didn't have that much material left. So I was on that spot of all right, I have a bunch of quick fun
Mhm.
ideas, concepts that I will have to strongly develop and
Mhm.
finish to be presentable for a competition, you know? So it was just entering the tournament. It was like that. It was like, okay, I'm entering and it's going to be a challenge. And I don't know if it's going to work out or not. But like I said, I was like, I'm just going to have fun with it and enjoy it, and whatever happens happens. So yeah, it was a bit more fun for me and definitely more challenging.
Yeah, so to give people some context, your Juvia video was like October
Yeah,
2024, and this competition started January 2025. So you had like 2 months in between, and you
yeah.
were like completely out of moves by Juvia, right?
Bro, completely. But when I say completely out of moves, I mean every single move was created for the tournament. Maybe the one I had the most time to work on was first round because of course I knew I was entering and I knew I needed something for the first round. So yeah, there was a bit of time, a couple of weeks where I was like, okay, just spreading out all my possible concepts because they were just concepts really. So I was like, okay, I have these, I don't know, 6 7 concepts. Which one does it seem to have more potential over the other?
Mm.
And that way I started working on them from the least potential to the one with the more potential.
Oh, that's the order you went in. That's interesting.
Yeah, simply because I was like, okay, if I'm if I want to get to the end of the tournament, I don't want to uh, uh, like get to the final rounds or more advanced rounds, and they just be like, okay, I have nothing left.
Mm.
So I don't know, just a cleaner way to present the stuff. I guess, or that was my thought. But yeah, after the Juvia video, I had literally nothing complete left for the tournament. So when I said yes to your offer of being a direct invite, I was like, okay, yeah, I said yes, having zero moves on my catalog. So pretty. How do you say that in English? Like a leap of faith, I think you say.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I trusted myself.
Dude, so given that you had no moves and your result last time around, what motivated you to like join again? Like, what was the main reason for you?
Well, main reason I would say it was just Davi was coming back, and I knew Max was coming back, so I couldn't be the only one to not coming back. You know, I wasn't gonna let that happen. If at least only Davi came back, which of course he would,
Hmm.
maybe I would have taken a different choice. But since everybody was coming back, I mean, I can break the top three, you know.
You
So
had to
yeah,
be part of the fun, yeah.
yeah. I was gonna be so struck by the FOMO of not, you know, being there. Like it would be Davi, Max, Luis, that he was the other secret
Yeah.
guest, and just some random dude
Some
that
random
wasn't
dude.
me. So yeah, I that was one of the main things, and also to be honest, I talk about this with Davi
Hmm.
about, like I said, I did have lots of concepts that I've had over a couple of years, some maybe even more than 3 years. And they were concepts that I simply never get to develop properly, or that I just did automatically and then never pay so much attention to it. Like I knew for those concepts to turn into something else, I needed to really focus and sit and work on them. And I knew, of course, the competition was going to force me to do that.
Hmm.
So I did see a window of like, okay, this could be an opportunity to finally get rid of all these concepts and turn them into something complete. And after that, I thought after that, I'm finally, after all my card history life, I'm gonna be completely empty. Like right now, I'm empty. I don't have concepts, fidget moves, nothing. I have
Mm.
nothing
It's a good
on me.
feeling,
Yeah,
ironically,
it's a
yeah.
good feeling because it's like from now on, everything I'm gonna create, it's gonna be absolutely brand new, like from my new fresh mind after these two tournaments and all the growing I've done. Personal card is growing, and yeah, that thought excited me. Like, yeah, I wanna be on that spot of finally finishing all that stuff, and I did. So I'm glad.
It's interesting that the Juvia video and project as a whole didn't do that for you, but that the competition did.
Yeah, because like for the Juvia video, I did finish a couple of moves for that video,
Hmm.
especially the last three moves,
Mm.
which are the ones I love the most, or the ones I feel are the strongest from the video. So yeah, I did finish those three, which uh, I'm happy about it. But also, I had a lot of. It's funny because I refer to that material as classic Santiago moves. And Davi and I refer to those moves like that because those are some of the oldest moves I had. Like the 3 moves I do in the uncut section of the video. Those there's I believe it's the middle move, the second move from the 3 of the sequence. That's literally the first move I ever created in my life. So yeah, it was like I wanted to give those moves and that material a spotlight and turn them into something. And of course, the Juvia video and project was really special and huge for me. So yeah, I wanted to give that spotlight to those moves. But in like from another angle, those weren't the more complex and difficult moves. They are more like pretty chill, okay, comfy moves. So I knew they weren't gonna be as strong for a competition. Like not like the stuff I ended up putting out for the tournament. So yeah, it was like I'm gonna use these moves for this video. That's, for example, a reason I chose to put those 3 moves in an uncut, since they weren't as complex and all that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna add this level of complexity to them by doing them in an uncut. But yeah, that's how I ended up um, ordering the material I had at the time.
I see. Okay, so I also discussed this with your brother, but like it seems like based on how you had no moves and had to start like with almost nothing, that your roles were kind of like reversed this time compared to last time, right? I think we
Yeah.
discussed this privately too. Like uh he had no moves and went through the lower bracket run, and this time you have no moves. You didn't really go through a lower bracket run. You went through there
Yeah.
one round, but still you came to the finals from the lower bracket, right? So
Yeah.
I can't, you haven't been through like a full run, so it's not, I know it won't be a complete like perspective from you, but do you feel like you enjoy the upper bracket more or the lower bracket?
I mean, we've always talked about this, David and I mean, about the lower bracket. It's just the fun bracket. Like that's where everybody have fun. Like I mean, they really it's not the fun bracket. Of course, is just better to go over the top bracket without losing, because you start having like a month window between rounds, and that's just like a relief. But like I always, since the 2 tournaments, I really haven't tried yet the lower bracket properly, like full um, rule based rounds and all that. I always end up the tournament feeling like, oh man, I wish I have done this rule, this other rule, this round, you know. So yeah, about the lower bracket, since I only came down to that last semifinal and then come back again,
Yeah.
it wasn't as fun for me because of the pure pressure I had. Because Dabi did an insanely difficult run on the lower bracket last time.
He did, yeah.
He wiped them all out. It was like 7 fucking rounds. He had no material, so it was pretty intense. And for him to come at the semifinal against Max, which was one of the other strongest contestants that time,
Yeah.
and he did pull a pretty crazy move. I remember
The
against Davi.
5 packet move, yeah.
Bros, yeah,
Wait,
that
I think it
was
was 6
insane.
packet or something. It was a crazy
It
packet
was
cut.
like, I don't know. I just remember a lot of packets in that move.
Yeah, yeah.
So for Davi to, after all that fatigue, still win and come back to me as an opponent, it was like, man, there's no way I can lose this round. Like I only really needed to win against Lewis again, and I would come back. So the pressure of just thinking, man, what if I lose and I screw everything for us, you know?
Screw everything. Dang.
Yeah, because it was like we never really strongly planned like, yeah, we're gonna end up at the final together. We just I don't know, see what happens, you know. But since we were so close to do it again, to screw everything by losing, it was gonna be really sad for me. So yeah, I didn't have as much fun on that little lower bracket arc I had. But yeah, I always think like lower bracket seems so fun, man. It's so
Next
fun.
time, you just have to throw in round one and go to the lower bracket to have some fun.
Yeah, and have some fun.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see about that. Yeah.
Right. So, since you didn't go to the lower bracket, what aspect of this tournament did you find the most challenging this time around?
um. All right. The moment I really struggled the most, like I said, first round I knew it
Mm,
was coming, of course. So I had a little bit of time to at least get one move really good. That's also why first round might be one of the strongest moves according to performance wise.
according to performance.
It's one of the best performance I would say is the best performance I put out this tournament first round. Just strictly speaking about performance and flow and the cleanness of the move, you know. So yeah, I have a bit of time with that one. The second round, Koi, um, I did have that was the more advanced move I had. I really just changed a little bit about the opener and fixed the closer. So I already had the performance down with
Mm,
that one. But when I start getting to, for example, the semifinal against Lewis, like round five for me, it was like, okay, Interstellar. I had like 3 weeks, sorry, or
hmm
something. For the next round, I also have like 3 weeks, and from a moment to the other, I had like 1 week to create a move to win against Lewis. So, bro, that week, that when I realized, okay, I have 7 days to create something strong enough to win against Lewis. So yeah, those days were really stressing for me and really difficult. So yeah, I would say the biggest difficulty this tournament was the battling against those time limits to create.
mm,
I've always just being like, okay, I need to polish this move, just get better at the performance, get some things cleaner, and that's it. But now it was like creating something new, and with strong theme, intent, all that. So yeah, the little time I had in some rounds for creating, biggest difficulty.
So, like, say for example, you have like a 1 week time frame to like pump out a move, create and perfect and all that, right? So, about how much of it would go to like creating, and how much would go to like perfecting it, like just practice,
Damn,
like the split.
yeah, exactly. Speaking
Yeah.
of, I'm gonna talk about Mr. Spock, the last move, the round five move against
hmm
Lewis semifinal, because it was the one I had the least percentage of the move done, and
Mm.
also I would say it was the more complex theme. Like I literally only had this about the move. I had this opener here of doing this
Yeah.
and getting to here. There,
That
that
was
was
it?
it. That
Oh
was it,
man.
bro. Like
That's like
just this,
10% or less. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like just this part here and here.
Mm.
So that was it. I had absolutely nothing else. So it was like a really crazy process of. I remember it was only one day where I said, okay, I'm gonna tackle this move, and I sat down for hours and hours just looking at at the camera. I always, by the way, I always practice, especially, no, I would say every time, like even if I'm just cleaning the performance, or if I'm creating the move, I always do it in front of the camera. Like, you don't know how much your perception up here can trick you to think you're doing something good, and then you put the camera on and it looks like absolute garbage, and you don't understand why, because it looks so good from up here. But of course, when you are going to present it for a camera, it's a whole different world. So yeah, so the time was like one insane day of going at the move and doing over and over again that opener I showed you, and thinking, okay, what can go from here and there. And I remember I was like frustratingly blocked with this move, you know. And I remember the moment I realized, because I didn't know what the theme was. I like this flickering thing right here where it bends like this. I like that, but to just keep doing that didn't make sense. So I had this thing here where it go through the middle over here, and it was a little moment because it all happens really close together. But there is a moment where I do this where I can really separate the hands, you know.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, okay, I had this sort of hockey, yeah. And I haven't realized that grip for the entire years I've had this concept. So once I realized this was a grip, I thought, okay, yeah, I can base an entire move around this idea, like Davi did, for example, with the Gojo move. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna go with that, and I started to focus more on the Spock grip, if we can call it that.
Spock
and
grip.
Yeah, the Spock grip. So after that, I remember I was basically showing live results to Davi, because I was trusting really heavy on his backup, you know. Because when I'm under a lot of pressure, my I get really indecisive, I think you call it. Yeah, it's hard for me to decide. So I was like, okay, what do you think about this? And he would be like, yeah, go that way, or maybe don't go that way, you know. So we were like that the whole night until I came with this moment here. Wait, let me get to it. Where I transferred this grip to this top grip here.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I was like, okay, that's really interesting. And after that, it was a lot of tweaking and all that. So it was like a strong, let's say, 1 or 2 days of really grinding the construction and all that, and then just perfecting the performance, which I have to say, bro, I'm like, yeah, I won the round and all that, but you can't imagine the huge, how do you say it, the huge, I don't know, it disturbs me so much to have posted such an ugly looking performance for that move, bro.
Oh man.
According to my standards, bro, that move is a nightmare. Like I can't even watch the post for that move, because it hurts so bad in my eyes. I can't see that, man. But nonetheless, I was quite proud of winning. Like, for me, that performance is dog shit. So I know I didn't win based on performance only. So to win a round, knowing it wasn't because of the performance, that was like a change of like getting out of my comfort zone, you know. So I was happy about it. But yeah, it was, so in percentage wise, going back to the question, was like maybe 2 days, 3 days to construction, and like the rest 5 days to just perfecting the move. I also pushed myself that hard because I knew this was gonna be a hard move to perform. So I knew I didn't have like a lot of time to create it and then practice it. So I had that in mind.
So even for a move where the construction was like you had the least of this move prepared compared to the rest, right? You said
Yeah,
that, right? And so even for a move like that, your breakdown is like at best 30% in the creation, and like the rest of the 70 is more like the refinement and practicing, right?
yeah. Still, because the thing about that is that a move can be extremely well constructed, but I do believe if you're not capable enough to perform it in at least an acceptable way, there's a lot of nuances and creative and smart ideas that you make in the creation process that people simply aren't going to be able
Yeah.
to appreciate if you don't perform it well. So yeah, it was like I need to at least be acceptable, and I do say I would say it is acceptable, even though I just completely
You just shat all over
destroyed.
it just now, yeah.
Yeah, but I'd still say is at least acceptable. So that's why I still left so much time for the performance and practicing.
Since we didn't really, oh, let's first talk about how like the elephant in the room, how you're in the finals with your brother again. So that, um, like you mentioned earlier that you guys didn't really exactly plan for this, right? Because it's obviously it's not something that easy to plan for, but like,
Yeah.
so at what point did it seem like a possible reality for you guys?
All right. This time, the moment we were like, okay, we're maybe doing this again. I remember with first round, I was really happy about the result for the
Yeah.
first round for my creation. I was like, yeah, this looks cool. Also, when I'm able to perform it as well as round one, I'm just like, yeah, I love it.
Mm.
Then round two, the reception for the move was really good, and the overall creation, I really liked it. So I was like, okay, this is turning out good. Like I thought I was gonna lose round one and then go to low bracket and then lose low bracket round one and out of the tournament.
Oh
Like
no.
I I I I was extremely prepared, like mentally prepared for that to happen. Like maybe this is a bit depressing, but that's like the little faith I had in myself at that moment. Simply because I've never done something like that. Like creating on the spot
Mm.
has never been my thing. So that's why maybe I was so harsh on myself and wasn't that confident. But yeah, after round two, where I realized, damn, this is working out. I'm doing it. And then something happened. We arrived to round three, which
Yeah.
was against Lewis,
Yeah.
and it was like, of course, I have nothing personal against Lewis or anything, but it was like that. I would say, um, how do you say it on English? It's like a clean competitivity where when you're competitive,
Hmm.
but you're not being the opposite of like being toxically competitive.
So it's like not personal, but you just want to win. It's like I think I know it.
Yeah, in Spanish we
Like
call it.
a good opponent driving out the best in you, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. In Spanish we call it like competitividad sana,
Mm.
which would translate to I don't know how would you translate it, but it's like, yeah, like having a nice chill competitivity against somebody,
Hmm.
since of course, it was like if I lose, he's gonna get to Davi, which was like a big, huge matchup, like the rematch and all that. So
The
I was like,
rematch,
yeah,
yes.
I gotta stop him. I had like that. I need to stop this guy. He ain't doing this again. So, so yeah. So I was like, that I took that round so seriously, and I mean, I really love the interstellar move. Like, I don't know about you, the judges and all that, but I really love like what I was able to create and all that. So I loved that round so much, and the result was pretty good, and I did end up winning. That was like, okay, after this round is basically me against Davi again. So one of us is directly going to the finals, and then either of us is just going to need to win one more round.
Mhm.
So at that point, after he won against Gfan
Yeah,
and
you found, yeah.
I won against Lewis, we were like, okay, just like one of us is automatically on the final, and the other one more round to go. So yeah, after round three, it seemed like an absolute possibility,
Mm.
and I just needed to win again. And like, since we're talking and all that, when I saw Lewis was coming back for the semifinal, I was like, oh god,
I gotta do this again.
not again, not again, man.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was over, and then he came back. That it was really epic for real. I
Mm.
had a blast with all those, um, yeah, all those matches. They were great.
So your expectations were very low going into the competition, but I think that's a healthy thing for you to do. Like you don't wanna aim high and then disappoint yourself. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I believe like if you plan for something as wild as you and your brother getting to the final, it doesn't turn out like
Mm.
there's no way you don't plan, and success at that is really difficult. So I believe staying like I don't know if that would be being humbled on myself, or at least being self-aware of the possibility that this time I don't have bunch of bangers saved up. I don't have anything literally.
Mm.
So it was like, yeah, a self-awareness of, yeah, this could happen. I could lose literally round one. I don't know. And I did feel like that worry of, I mean, I'm the previous champ. I can't lose round one.
There's that
But
pressure for sure, yeah.
yeah, that pressure was there, but still I was like, I mean, there are a lot of great guys in this tournament. If that happens, it's gonna be well deserved for sure. Also, I extremely trust the judging criteria of the
Mm.
whole singles tournament. So I was like, that's something cool about the tournament. If you lose, it was deservedly so.
Mm.
You I don't think you can feel like, oh, I was robbed or anything like that. Like, if you really put like literally with a pencil and a paper, and you try to figure out which results the judges came up with, you can do it. You can get there.
Do you do that? Do you score
So
yourself sometimes?
yeah, sometimes.
Oh man, that's interesting. I don't think
Like,
I've heard anyone else do that yet. So
yeah, I mean, not as literally as doing it with a pen, but mentally,
Mm.
I do it sometimes. And for example, I remember after the Davi versus
Pink?
Pink, yeah,
Yeah.
after that round, we didn't call each other. I saw the round, and I saw the comments, and everybody was more on the Pink side. And I mean,
Hmm.
it was a really really good
It was a
packet.
solid move. It was a good move.
It was a really solid move, but I instantly, since I saw that, and obviously I'm not gonna like lie to my brother and said, "Oh yeah, you're gonna win, don't worry," and then not being true. Like,
Hmm.
so I first sat down with a cold mind and said, "Okay, let me think about the actual numbers we would be talking about when judging these moves." and it was like, okay, performance wise, this could go this way and that way, intent and creativity and all that. And after doing that, I realized, okay, that is gonna win. Like, I didn't even hesitate or doubt it, you know? Like, I was like, no, yeah, the numbers are there, so no need to worry. And I called him after doing that, and he was like, bro, you got this. You're winning this because the numbers are there. And he was like, oh yeah, I just did the same. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, he does it too. So that makes it
Yeah,
two of
of
you.
course.
That makes the two of you.
And yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, oh yeah, yeah, chill. I'm chill. I already did it. So so yeah, if you do that, it's a clear result. Um, so so yeah, the pressure of losing was there, but still,
You powered through.
yeah, I powered through.
Yeah. All right. Wait.
More
So
like I more like
yeah.
I didn't slip through. Because
Yikes.
I didn't sleep that much, bro. You owe me like a couple of thousands of hours of sleep.
Oh, that you'll get that back from the prize pool. You're good. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, so all right. With that said, I think I want to move and discuss like your style of your moves this time around. So I noticed
Nice.
that early in the tournament, it felt more like your signature, like flowy, abstract packet cut kind of style. And as we went further and further, it like kind of went more and more towards like a more experimental style, where it felt more like what's the word? It's like it feels. I don't know if it's actually head thinking moves for you, but they look like head thinking moves where it's like you
Yeah.
conceptualize it first and then you try and do it. That's what it looks like to
Yeah.
me. Yeah. So is this like a conscious shift for you? Like you said earlier, you were just deciding based on each round how to pick like which move would go where, right? So was
Yeah.
this a conscious thing for you or no?
Yeah. Was definitely a conscious decision. I mean, it wasn't planned in the sense of like I didn't thought about, okay, from this round onwards I'm gonna do head thinking moves and only that. But it was like I realized something when, of course, when I create my like I like how you refer to them like these abstract flowy moves.
Yeah.
They do feel like that. So um, these moves came to life because I was juggling with the cards for a really long time, you know. I
Hmm.
was just playing and the move almost like constructed itself, you know, in my hands.
Mm.
So that's why it flows so well and it looks a bit abstract. There's not like a heavy thought on the construction process. But when you have less time to create and you only have concepts, it's like, okay, you really do need to put your mind to work if you want it to be something cool, you know. Because for example, for the interstellar move, like I had the way of getting to the star
Yeah.
position, and I had like the turning around thing. And I remember this was before the competition started. Davi saw that we were like going through some of my concepts, and Davi saw that, and he was like, "Bro, why don't you skate it? Why don't you try to do skater on it?" And I was like, "Okay, that I don't know if I can do that," because it was like doing a skater, but with none of the skater fingers. You for skater you usually use a thumb and a middle finger.
Yeah.
This was uh I don't even know which ones I use. Oh, okay, a middle finger I use from this end, and like this other, I don't know. But the thing is, they were different fingers, and one hand needed to rotate as the
That's
packet
the
spin.
interesting part. That's the different part, right? Like I think
Yeah,
Davi
exactly.
mentioned this
Like,
too. Like it's much harder when your hand is spinning and moving.
yeah, of course, because like you need to handle the structure, but also spin the hand as the packet spins the
Hmm.
other way around. So it's like, and yeah, once I started working on Interstellar and the following moves, they were more conceptual in the sense of the themes and ideas were being chosen, I don't know, at will, for it to work. Like I told you on the Spock thing, I saw the Spock grip, I noticed it, and I was like, okay, I need to base the move on this thing, because also these more abstract cuts works so well because the performance is so good. If you take out the performance, the move really hurts. It's like that's one of the main qualities of it. So yeah, I started heavily thinking on the move as I was working on them, and I still haven't got to the. I know some artists do this. Davi himself, he does this, where it's like I imagine a move, and think translate it to
fully,
him.
right? The whole thing.
Bro, for me that's like what drugs are you on to be able to do that? Like what the fuck is that? Would you imagine something and I don't know. So yeah, but I do was heavily thinking about the every aspect of the move, So there's like a huge difference from those first two and then the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a spectrum. It's not just straight up head thinking or straight up hand thinking. You could conceptualize part of it and then with some experimentation get to it, right? So
Yeah.
So you eventually leaned more and more towards this direction. And it's interesting. You mentioned that the time constraint kind of forced you to do more head thinking.
Yeah,
Like,
because I know in a week I'm not gonna be able to get a Onoki performance, my round one move
yeah, I remember
from
that.
previous
Yeah,
tournament or all that. That's not gonna happen in 1 week.
that's true.
So I'm not gonna win this round purely based on performance. So I need to work hard on the intent, on the themes, and be creative. So yeah, that's that. Like I said on the round 5 with Mr. Spock, it was like I needed to win on intent and creativity criteria. So I sacrificed the performance, but I believe I came up with a strong theme move, which if I eventually get a strong performance out, I think it's gonna look gorgeous. But not for now, of course. You gotta wait for that. I'm not practicing.
Another 5 years.
Yeah, at least.
Oh no. Wait, so that's interesting though. Like you were forced to dabble in some head thinking, and now that you've done more head thinking, do you feel like you enjoy this kind of mode of creation, or do you prefer like your usual like hand thinking, more abstract, flowy style?
Yeah, I think the best thing about head thinking moves is that it doesn't feel like a casualty, you know?
A
Casualty?
casualty?
Casualty? How do you say like yeah, casualty. Like it doesn't feel like you created the move at random, Sometimes
Oh.
I'm just doing things with the cards and I have like a fidget move for a really long time, and then one day I click badly the card and the card does something and I'm like, oh shit, I
It's a
came
move.
up. But
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you came up with that, but literally at random,
Mm.
So when you do head thinking moves, you feel like you're constructing something on pure head mind power. You kind of show yourself, because it's not for other people. You show yourself you are a capable artist, and you're capable of, I mean, create something if you want. And that's something I really enjoyed about the head thinking moves, of being like, yeah, I'm capable of creating something on command, not just
Mm.
because I had a move. I mean, if you work on a move for like 7 years, of course you're gonna create something cool. I hope, I guess. But yeah, when you have like a week, if you are able to create something, you can be really proud of it, and I am. So that's what I enjoy about that different process.
So do you anticipate yourself doing more head thinking moves like outside of the context of this competition or not?
Yeah, like I do prefer like coming up with stuff just by handling the cards a lot. Like the majority of the concepts I've been telling I had
Mhm.
beforehand the tournament, they were concepts I came up that way, like just heavily messing with the cards. I'm almost always with the cards on hand, and I eventually came up with something cool. So I like getting to that point naturally
Mhm.
just by shuffling the cards, and then I am interested in, okay, I got the concept the way I like, naturally, without pressure, without anything. Now I'm gonna sit and work on it and create something. So I do think I'm gonna start doing that more,
Mm.
because yeah, like if I combine, like what I've learned from these singles, but I develop the moves with enough time to perfection the performance and all that, then I think I'm gonna create something really good, you know?
Mm. So maybe you'll be implementing more of a hybrid moving forward.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. More like a hybrid, I would say.
Okay. Well, okay, that also kind of leads into the next question, which is regardless of the outcome of this competition, what's next for you as a cardist?
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's really, no, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know if you asked me this last time, but I'm sure if you did, I was like, oh shit, I don't know what to
I
say.
don't think I did. I think this is a new question. Yeah.
But bro, right now, like I have a absolute clear path to follow because I've been going on it on my mind for like weeks and weeks now. I really want to start focusing on creating cardistry content.
Mm.
Like I have plans for like TikTok and more like real, social media platforms, but also like a YouTube format. I have like I've been thinking there's a lot of cardistry content that I would love to consume, but I can't because nobody's doing it. So one day I simply sit down and thought, well, if nobody's doing it, then I'm gonna do it myself, you know?
Mm.
I was like a Thanos moment of I'll do it myself, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I do feel like of course I work a lot on the editing and video creation thing because that's like my main thing on my life aside from cardistry.
Hmm.
So I was like, I'm just gonna combine those two strengths for me and start putting out a lot of content, like also because I feel as an somehow old cardist because I'm over a decade now.
Hmm.
There's a lot of content that people are doing that is great, but since I am more advanced, there's content I simply can't consume. I'm not gonna watch a revolution tutorial. That's not for me anymore.
Mm.
So I have like this type of cardistry content focus for newcomers because I want and I'm desperate for the community to grow, but also content focused on carish like us, for example, we that have decades and years of doing this. So yeah, I want to create something that people like us can enjoy also, and yeah, I remember from like it was round four or yeah round four from the singles. I
Hmm.
was, oh shit, I want this to be over so I can start doing this right away. Because
Almost there, almost there.
yeah, because I was like, I had the creation motivation, like I wanted to start recording right away and doing all
You
these
could still
things.
do it. Like you could do it.
Yeah, but the pure mind power the singles required from me left me completely dry to
Oh
create or
no.
practice or do anything else. So I was like, after like the weeks before the move, I was completely focused on the move. The weeks after the moves, I was like exhausted and needed to start doing the next move. So yeah, I was like, I'm gonna finish this first, and then I'm gonna start doing this other thing, you know. So
Wait,
yeah, from now on,
yeah.
gonna start the creation content
Oh,
arc.
let's see it. Wait, but so the content you mentioned for YouTube, is that in English or no?
Yeah, I've struggled a lot about the language
Yeah,
thing because, of course, I'm Latin. You know, I speak Spanish. That's my first language,
yeah.
and I do love the idea of creating cool cardistry content for the Hispanic speakers.
Hmm.
Um, but I feel like the biggest portion of the community speak English because it's like, for example, you're on freaking Taiwan. There are
Yeah.
people on Europe, you know, on Asia. Of course, the United States, they speak Spanish English, but
Yeah.
like all of you guys are from different countries and you all speak English. So, and I speak English, and I'm from you know a Latin country. So I was like, I think I'm gonna focus on doing content in English, and I'm still thinking about if simply recreating the same content in Spanish, since I have the capability of just, if it's a voiceover video, I can just
Hmm.
re-record it in Spanish. Of course, there's gonna be times where that's not a possibility, but still, I don't know, including Spanish subtitles, I'm gonna try and make it as easy as possible for the Spanish speaking folks to still be able to consume it. But yeah, and also I feel like in Spanish there's a couple of really good channels already
Oh,
doing cool
really?
content. Yeah,
Okay.
so those guys are great, and shout out to them. They're called Los de las Cartas.
Mm.
Great folks. And yeah, I feel like in English, ironically, which is where the majority of the community is, it's where I feel is lacking the most content
Interesting.
wise. So, or at least from the perspective I would love to see, you know?
Mm. Okay. All right. Now I'm excited because my intuition is that, okay, I would have assumed that like the Spanish speaking community is big, but is relatively lacking in content, but you think it's the other way around. So
Yeah, it's
your
like,
content would have to be different from the existing stuff to be able to say that, right? So
yeah,
I'm curious to see what it'll be then.
yeah. I have like from the most basic, and but that's the thing, like the cardistry community right now is lacking the most basic type of content, you know? Something, and when I say basic, I mean like in every genre of things like video games, movies, I don't know, all those types of hobbies and passions people have, there's like always a basic type of content, you know, like video reactions, commentary and stuff, I
Mm.
don't know, unboxings, those sorts of things. And it's like there are some basic uh bits in the content that English guys are missing, and I don't know how, like I don't understand why nobody's doing like video reactions, you know, like Lotus dropped a video, anyone.
Jaspis kind of did that for a while.
Yeah, and he stopped. He
Kinda.
was like the only
Yeah,
one doing
he
that.
was.
Like I remember heavily enjoying Jaspa's content and Chris Ramsey's content,
Mm.
and it's fun because he's actually a magician, and
Yeah.
he was
Yeah, it's a different
giving,
perspective. Yeah.
yeah, and he was giving huge exposure to like null videos.
Yeah.
And I remember during the CCC, he was reacting to every single round, which was crazy to me. I don't know if it was every single round, but like the biggest round, like the biggest videos from each round. So, and his channel was huge. I mean, it's huge. He only stopped doing that type of content, but like for a magician to be giving us artists that huge exposure is like, bro, why aren't we doing it ourselves, you know?
Mm.
So that's what I mean, like, why isn't there a artist reacting to a random video, you know, of new drops or old videos, vintage video. I don't know,
Mm.
but yeah,
Sure.
from that basic level to more personal and original ideas, yeah, I'm gonna start doing that.
Okay. I'm excited to see it. The hard part is
Nice.
getting it consistent and like over time. We'll see how that
Yeah, I,
goes.
I
Yeah.
I'm planning like recording, editing, and having ready at least, I don't know, 10 videos ready to upload. Because if I try doing it on the spot and posting it, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, that's crazy
I'm not gonna.
discipline to do it like that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna like grind a lot of content, and then when I have like a big catalog, gonna start dropping them and working on the next thing and go on.
Okay. We can expect that in June.
June is like in 1 month.
I
Yeah, I don't
know,
think
I
so.
know. Singles is gonna end this month, I think. So
Hey,
hey, it's time. It's time.
time to the grind to start.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
you can't say, oh, at round 4 I was waiting for this to end and then not start immediately afterwards. Now, yeah,
You're
you
right.
committed.
You got
Yeah,
me on that part. All
yeah.
right. Okay. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna move on to your moves for the finals. So
Cool.
yeah, let's go through them real quick. Oh, my files here. Oh, okay, they have the names. I updated them with the names now. Okay, wait. So
Nice.
first off, speaking of the names, so what
Yep.
do these names even mean? Like these Japanese ones in part. Actually, we should do them one by one with the moves, probably. Okay, wait.
Okay.
Let's go through the first move first, right? So the first
Nice.
move. Let me remind myself which one that is. Okay. It's this one. It's this one where you have like this packet and one packet rolls around it. So
Oh
okay,
yeah.
so the name is Kusarigama. What does that mean?
Kusarigama is this Japanese weapon where you have like in one hand you have a blade, a short blade.
Yeah.
There's a string that connects both of them, and the other end it's like a heavy weight.
Oh,
And
okay.
you kind of use both ends. You can like with one end and the string you distract your opponent, and the whole weapon is based on this like flowing spinning things, and they have both ends, the blade and the weight. So yeah, since the move like flows this, oh shit, I suck. Since
Oh
the move
man.
have this rotating flow, and
Yeah.
then you see these both ends.
Yeah.
This sort of
That
movement
part I see it. I see it.
really resonated with that, like that flowing thing, and the part I like the most about this move is that I think it doesn't move as you would expect from cards. It has a bit of a different look to it, and it
Hmm.
really reminded me of that sort of weapon play. And yeah, this part, which was the part I created for the end, this rotating thing
Yeah.
here. Yeah, it was like, and I love that weapon. From videos I see to video games where they use that weapon. So yeah.
Huh. Okay. So wait. So did you have the weapon in mind before creating the move, or was it you create the move and then you realize the resemblance, and then you named it like that?
For that move, I had the opener, which is this part here until
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And like I said, there was something about the way it moves, like the back end moves, that really stuck with me. And when I started creating the second part and all that, and I created like that parallel packets going
Hmm.
around, I started thinking about that. So it wasn't like
I see.
I created thinking about it. It wasn't like that, but I did start to see the resemblance.
Resemblance. Yeah.
Resemblance, yeah. And I didn't even remember how it was called, how the weapon was called, but I was like, yeah, the stringy thing with the blade and that it looks like that. And then I searched it up and I was like, okay, yeah, the move it's
Huh.
gonna be called that. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, so also a general question about these three moves. So these, I know you said that you were creating them, they were all new, obviously, but
Yep.
what's like the order? Is it this exact order that you submitted, or was there or not?
The order I created them, you say?
Yeah.
I mean, the harakiri move, the three packet one,
Yeah.
that I had basically ready before the tournament. I think it was the only one, but
Interesting.
I couldn't perform it like all this part and the closer and all that. I wasn't able to perform it properly, so I needed to really grind the performance.
I see.
Then this is interesting because the other moves I did were from concepts I have recently discovered,
Yeah.
but these other two, they were like concepts I have, bro. The interlinked concept, this thing here,
Yeah.
bro. I think I've had that concept since, I don't know, 2018, 17.
By that concept, do you mean specifically like the bending part and the packet split?
Yeah, it was basically this part here all the way to here, and
Yeah.
the splitting of both packets. And there, I didn't know what to do next. I always end up in this position here of splitting the packets. So that was it. I didn't have nothing else, and
I
I've
see.
tried a lot, like from that younger mind, from the a bit more advanced mind, and I was never able to complete the move. And this other thing, I have, like I said, from here to here,
Yeah.
it was also very old. So it was like that mind block of, I've been through this move so many times throughout so many years that I'm just exhausted. I don't want to see them. I don't want to even try. I don't
Okay.
want to try to create something out of this. But since I didn't have nothing else,
Now you're
of course, I
forced
was
to.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm forced to. I have to create something out of it.
Okay.
So I remember I started with Kusarigama
Hmm.
since it was the one I felt has had the more potential,
Hmm.
and it's my favorite out of the three.
Interesting.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna grind that because I really love the motion and I do want to create something out of it. Then I was while I was practicing Kusarigama, when I felt exhausted and didn't want to practice it anymore, I started playing with this
Mm.
thing, and eventually I remember, bro, this was extremely frustrating. I was practicing without the camera. I was looking myself in kind of funny in a TV reflection because the TV, it's an old TV, the boxy TVs,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
the screen
Was
it's like
curved?
curved. Yeah,
Mm.
since it's so old, and when you practice in front of it, it's almost like a
Wide
15
angle.
millimeter wide angle
Yeah.
lens. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
can
I- so
imagine.
I so I was practicing on that reflection, and I did from beginning to end a beautiful move out of the interlink opener. And
Yeah.
when I finished, I was like, that was amazing. I loved it. And then I started. I tried to do it again, and I didn't remember
Oh
properly
no.
what I
Oh
did,
no.
and I spent like hours trying to just get back to what I did. And I remember I needed to go to dinner, and I was like, no, wait, I need to remember what I did.
Wait, so this
And
final
that's
version, is that what it is or no?
is the closest I could get to that, but it's not the exact thing I came up with, like in that flow state I was.
Mm.
But it's the closest I would say. Yeah.
So I guess this applies to both Kusarigama and Interlink, which is for these moves, the are you happy with the current versions of them or not? Because obviously you had a time constraint and you've had the basic concept for a long time. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you had expectations of what these moves were supposed to be. Do you think the
Yeah.
current versions live up to that, or do you feel like there's still room?
I mean, I've had a lot of time to process it, and I've been rewatching my moves like when I'm bored. or anything, I just pop out the clips and I see them.
Yeah.
And for Kusarigama, I'm very happy since my main goal with that move was that the rest of the move after this part, I
Yeah.
wanted to flow and look as good as that first part looked. And I do feel like I was able to create something as similar to that motion I could, and I do like the final result. Um, the performance of the spinning part, I think, could be a bit better and even flow like crazier. But yeah, with that, I'm happy. For interlinked, I still can't decide on that one. Like, since I really was never able to surpass this moment here, I didn't have like a um what did you call it, like a way the move should look.
Oh, so you didn't have like you weren't imagining anything. It was
I
just
wanted, I wasn't. So I'm happy with what it turned out. I'm not sure if I work more on it. Maybe I could get a stronger version of the move, but I was worried I was gonna be like disappointed or let down by the three final moves, and I ended up being rather happy about them. So yeah, I think I'm proud of them. I like
okay.
them.
Okay. And we didn't really discuss the last one, which is Harakiri. What does that name mean, by the way?
Okay, harakiri. It's the name of the samurai ritual of, like, when samurai were given permission of commit like a suicide with a
Seppuku?
short blade. Seppuku, yeah.
Yeah.
Harakiri is like the action. Seppuku is the ritual.
Uh-huh.
Harakiri literally means like stomach
It's like
stabbing.
the stabbing
It's the
action.
stabbing, yeah.
Holy shit.
It
Okay.
literally means like stomach stabbing or ab stabbing. It's
I
that
see it with the
action.
motion. I see
Yeah,
it.
and the motion, it's like it looks like I wanted to make a reference to the classic, samurai thing of an anime thing of doing this to the blade,
Yeah.
like the classic anime thing of doing this and the whole
Yeah.
thing is destroyed. But I couldn't find a short name to reference that,
Mm.
so I remember the whole seppuku thing. And there's also a really great film named Harakiri, so that's why I ended up going with that name. Yeah,
That's a hardcore name. That's
yeah,
hardcore. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but I I actually agree with your commentary that came before this. You were comparing this one with the other two moves, and this does feel like the move that is the most like traditionally Santiago. Like,
yeah,
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 I can
totally.
see it. I can see it. So you had this one pretty much completed, but just had to practice it. Is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly. I actually thought about grinding it for the Juvia video,
Yeah.
but after seeing, I mean, we were a bit tight on time, as you
Yes, we
would
were. Yes, we
remember.
were. I know it too well.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I decided, yeah, no time to grind a packet good. I needed to grind like the triple aerial and all that. So, and the fan toss. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm not doing this. So I leave it to the singles.
Wait, so the hard part is the closer? Is that what it is?
It's like the hard part is like when you get to this part. Wait, when you hear this
Yeah.
shift from this grip to here, it's a bit
Oh,
tricky
I see.
to get it flowy, and then when you get to here, this moment, the packet always looks like
Mm.
shit, as you can see. So getting this packet square, and then this shift here, this parallel action, is like the tricky part. Then the closer itself, it's just a matter of practicing, but for it to flow properly, it really needed to clean and practice a lot.
Okay. So it's not that any particular part is like crazy hard to make happen. It's just to get it
Yeah.
all to flow properly.
Yeah, it's like remember the round tree from first singles, this one here.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. Is that SB
Well,
Fly?
SB Fly, yeah. Like
Yeah.
that move, it's not like any part it's extremely difficult, but rather than I have a certain type of flow for some moves where the way I need them to look is from the moment it starts, it never stops, like there's no pauses, like it's
Yeah.
just non-stop flow from one moment to the other.
The regrips
So
can't look clunky and anything. Yeah, I get it.
yeah, can't look clunky. So that flow is very difficult to nail since you need to have every grip optimized and extremely practiced. So since I wanted that same flow for this move, I knew it was going to be a bit tricky.
Okay. You told me which one was your favorite. I just wanted to ask about the other two. Like, what's the order here? And does that play a role in like how you ordered them for like the brackets?
I mean, the order was exactly, yeah, it was a decreasing order from the one I liked the most, from the one I like the least. I like the three of them, but yeah, it was like my favorite was Kusarigama.
Hmm.
Then it was Interling, and then Harakiri.
So you wanted to
I
start strong.
yeah, I arranged them the same way the last final. My favorite was the how did I call that shit?
The one
Uh,
with the up down movement. Is that the
yeah,
one?
that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
This one here with the pen and that. Yeah,
That's the one. That's the one.
that
Yes.
was my favorite. Tenet ended up being like the people liked the most. I was a
Yeah.
bit um insecure about Tenet at the time.
Mm.
And Apollo was like a really old move. So yeah, this time
Mm.
was like the same from my favorite to my least favorite.
And because of what we discussed earlier, you know what's coming. You know what Dobby's moves are.
I mean, I know what he has left.
Yeah.
I saw like very early stages of the move back when
Mm.
I was with Davi back in January when we were barely starting the competition.
Hmm.
But yeah, I have an idea of what's coming from him,
I
and I
see.
know it's probably very good, very crazy.
Okay. Okay. Well, we showed you each other's moves last time, and we're gonna skip that this time, so you guys get to experience it with everyone else. So,
Okay. Oh yeah,
yeah,
we did,
we did.
bro.
But what we are keeping is some rapid fire questions at the end, though. So we're gonna do that
Great.
now. Yeah. So
Nice.
mostly should be like one word answers. You can explain if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Nice.
So wait, where are they? There they are. Okay. So which matchup of yours did you enjoy the most?
The Interstellar one. Simply
So that
because,
was the first one against Michalko, right?
yeah, that was round three
Hmm.
against Lewis, and I enjoyed it the most because, like I said, that was when my mind went to killing mode. And it was like, okay, I need to win this round, whatever it takes. So it was like I did have the time to prepare, so that was good. It wasn't like the second round against Lewis where I was all stressed and
Hmm.
and worried. And like you can even see in the quality of the video itself, like I put a specific lighting and clothes
Yeah.
and the space and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was lots of fun to record and get down. Yeah.
The second one was not fun to record.
Not at all, bro.
Oh, oh,
Jesus Christ.
yeah. All right. So, which matchup that isn't yours did you find the most entertaining?
Oh, um, I did have a lot of fun with what Kevin was doing. Kevin had a crazy run. He actually had like the Dabby run
He
from the
did.
previous singles. of going losing round two and then going all the way to the semifinals. So I really enjoy like some of the moves he came up with, like his round against Lewis, where he combined two previous Mechalco moves and turned it into one. I really enjoyed that. Also, I believe the G-Fan versus Davi round was like they both did great stuff. Ultra Kill is like I would say my favorite move from the singles. And G-Fan, I remember, did something pretty crazy. G-Fan had a great run too.
He
So
did have a
yeah.
good run, yeah. Okay. Wait, so who would you like to have competed against but did not get the chance to?
Ah, mm, I really had the hope of maybe having a rematch with Max. I really wanted to see
Mm.
Max. Max had like a bit of bad luck because G-Fan was really strong, and
Yeah.
he lost in round one. And in the same way, G-Fan was another one. I was like, oh man, it would be a pretty interesting round, and G-Fan also would have pushed me to create something like really good. So
Yeah, the thing about Yifan is like it's just so wild. You don't know what he's gonna throw at you. It could be some crazy
yeah,
magic shit that will just nuke you.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And when you're against someone like that, you're just locked in.
Mm,
You're forced to be better and do something better. So those moments really push you further. So G-Fan also would have been great.
mm. Okay, so who's someone you do not want to go against for any reason?
Someone I do not want to go against. I mean, let me think a bit. Uh, the cardists I fear the most are those like, let's say, Gfan, Lewis, Max, where it's like you can't predict what they're gonna do. Like they can do a fun packet cut or a fucking nuclear bomb move. Like it happens with them. Like I'm often capable of analyzing what I need to throw to somebody to win. Like I know if somebody lacks a bit in performance, I just need to send a 10 out of 10 performance and I'm maybe winning,
Mhm.
or the other way around. But when it's cards like them where you don't know what they're gonna throw at you, even the performance, so sometimes it's great, like 10 out of 10, sometimes it's a bit lacking, like you don't know, you just don't know what they're gonna do. So those uncertain matches are a bit stressful to go against, definitely.
It's funny that you want to go against them, but you also don't want to go against them.
Yeah, it's like the challenge, but also the fear that comes with the
Okay.
challenge. Oh, and I remember I was really worried that Kevin would go up in the last round.
Uh,
I
oh, at the
remember,
end. Ah, yeah.
yeah, I remember being afraid of Kevin going up. I was a bit scared of facing him and maybe losing against him for the final. So yeah, I remember that fear of
Your
going against.
relationship with Lewis is what he has with Kevin. Like Lewis just knocked Kevin down twice. So
Yeah, shit, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So funny, like the what did you call it? The Smash reference of just kicking them twice and out of
Yes,
the
yes,
map.
yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
remember that being like, oh shit, I don't want Kevin to go up. Like a bit scared.
mm. Kevin, yeah, you're right. Kevin is also one of those like you could just do a one card move. You're like, well, how do you deal with
Yeah,
that?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's very wild in that regard. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, what was your favorite move of your own that was shown in this tournament? I think you answered this earlier.
No, I said my favorite from the final, but not
Oh,
my
okay. So
overall
general then.
favorite. In general, counting the final or just the previous
Count.
rounds?
Sure. Counting the final. We'll do that.
Um, The one I just feel like, yeah, my personal favorite will be Interstellar.
Hmm.
Just like the whole experience of the movie. I'm into films and all that. Like that's my career. So being able of doing a move that resembled a movie so strongly, where I can even put like the separated screen with the movie and the cardistry move. It's like it was just like a dream I didn't know I had.
Mm.
When I finished it and put the music and all that, it was like, this is great. Like I want to try and create more of those. So it was just a move I love, and yeah.
Dabby and I discussed that move in his interview too. Like he has something in the finals that is similar in the sense that we described it like storytelling moves. Like it's supposed to resemble something else.
Yeah, like there's I talk about this in extent with Davi, where like there's a moment, right here, where it's like when you have the structure,
Hmm.
that connects here, and then you set the packets. It's like you just need to put this here and do the rotation, and that's it.
Yeah.
But there's like creative decisions I took that you usually don't take with moves, because they're just cards. But
Hmm.
it's like after I did that connection, I put the hands far away from the camera, and then I literally move the hands close to the camera, like
Oh,
to
that's a very
create a
subtle
sense of,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. If you watch closely the round clip, it's like I put the hands further away, and then I start to slowly putting them up, like the ship traveling in the movie. So
Yeah.
it's like creative decisions you're not able to take with every regular move, because it's like I remember Davi and I refer to it as acting with the cars. You're acting like it's literally the ship going forward.
Yeah.
So
We
it
don't
was
see a
like,
lot of those in our community, like in terms of moves. I think
yeah,
one of the few like that we've seen is like Pringle. Like Jedrick does quite a few of these. Yeah.
exactly. Pringle, and a lot of his moves are that way, where you, I mean, where you're like, of course you have the grip. I don't know if I remember how to do Pringle, but you have yeah, here it is. You have the grip, you know,
Hmm.
and it's like that same thing of this is the whole thing. But
Yeah.
he started to like move the hand to act with the hand, so it's
Yeah.
like that same approach of acting. It's so different and peculiar,
It
you know.
is. It's not
So
something we see
yeah,
often for sure.
yeah, that's why that's my favorite, because it was just such a different approach, and something I would like to explore a lot more. Also,
Hmm.
since I love movies so much, it's like
Makes sense. So, if you had to choose a move of the tournament, what would it be?
a move of the tournament for like
The whole
everybody.
thing. Yeah, the whole thing.
Bro, for me, it would be Ultra Kill from Davi.
Okay.
That move, like in my opinion, is just fucking wild. Like the the whole structure itself it's those type of structures that you see in photos, that it's like a thing that doesn't really have an opener or a closer. People just get
Yeah.
to it, took a photo, and it's like, oh yeah, look at this crazy thing. But it's not a real move, bro. But this one is like, it has a great opener, great closer. The other parts of the move were great. It has like that little twist where you don't know he's gonna bend the
Yeah.
thing, and then he does. It's
And then
like
he unbends it. Yeah.
then he unbends it, like
Yeah.
integrated into the design of the move, which
Yeah.
is like brilliant. So it's like, I would say that the most creative and and wild move. You just go insane by looking at it, and the performance for a move that difficult is really good. So yeah, that move
All right.
for me,
I think that's a reasonable pick.
yeah.
And our last one, who would you be excited to see enter the competition next time around?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Um, I'm always um I'm always like interested in seeing something crazy happen,
Like
like
who would fall under that category? Like, oh, that's crazy.
bro, like a crazy comeback, like out of nowhere. I don't know, Sui entering
Zui?
singles,
Oh shit. Okay.
Sui entering singles, something like a very OG cardist, just I remember when Andrew Avila he entered trials
Trials? Mm.
after years of not doing much really, and it was like, damn, that's crazy. That was insane. So yeah, like a big name randomly entering the competition, it's always gonna be fun, and I'm always gonna look forward to that.
So
Um,
no one in particular though for you or
mm, um, let's see. Let me think. There are really good cards that I've been enjoying recently. There's a guy named Soki.
Soki? Mm.
He's Soki. I've been enjoying a lot his content and his posts, and I think like he has great performance, pretty decent creations. He would be pretty interesting to see.
Okay.
Um, who else? Let me think. Bro, there's this guy. What's his name? Kaye
Uh
Koyoshi.
I know who you're talking about.
He
I don't
posted a Cardistry Core move recently.
yeah.
Dude, like he he spawned, dropped like the craziest 5 packet move in recent time, disappeared, came back, posted the Cardistry Core move. Like he's absurdly good. Like he has a 5 packet good with the butterfly cards, the brown butterfly cards.
Wait. Is are you talking about on his account or the core one?
Yeah, no, on his account.
Okay.
Let me look for it. Kayoshi. I don't remember his name, but yeah, he has like this
Here's my
5 packet good move. Okay, here it is. Yeah, this one. Look at this.
Kaleo, right? Is this I
Kaleo Kiyoshi.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, that's the
this
guy.
thing right here. This.
Oh, okay, this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Where
okay,
it's
I remember this one. I remember
where
this
it's
one.
like, bro, that level of handling with a 5 packet, I believe it is. I believe if it's five, yeah, it's five. Like you often see it's a bit trending, having like
Five packet cuts.
13 packets going around your hands. Like people are really pushing that sort of crazy. I have a lot of packets
They
in my
are, and
hands.
most of the time they don't need that many packets.
Yeah, most of the time you can see
Most of
a
the time.
clear, brilliant idea that if you took away like 13 packets, it could work better. But, and and often people just end up with a really messy, hard to look at move that it's just a mess. Like I oftentimes literally can finish watching the clip because it's so hurtful to see them struggle with so many packets. And this guy comes around with this 5 packet move, and it's just great. The mechanics are great. It flows incredible. So, bro, if he randomly just starts putting like his account has 2 moves,
Mm,
like I need more moves from that guy. So
okay,
if
so
he
this is the guy.
entered singles, bro, I would be hype as fuck, really.
Okay, all right. I think that's everything then. Are not so
Nice.
rapid fire questions, but hey,
Yeah. Hey.
it is what it is. All right.
Yeah.
So, anything you wanted to add before we finish, or no?
Well, yeah, like big shout out to my brother, of course. Huge shout out. Like it's still a dream for me to be doing all these tournaments, and the fact that I'm doing them with him, with my brother, like, you know, I've never met another real cardist in real life, apart from him. Like,
Still not yet?
bro, not yet. Like, he's
That's
the
so
only.
wild. That's so
Like,
crazy.
think of this. I've never seen any other pair of hands that aren't his doing cardistry in front of me. Like,
That's so
I've
wild.
only seen his moves and my moves. Like, I haven't had the pleasure to meet other guys that do cardistry. So, bro, it has just been, we together for over 10 years now, and we've gone through so many stages of our cardistry life, like, so yeah, being just here able to do this type of things with him is like just crazy, and a dream
Yeah.
for real. So yeah, huge shout out to him. He has helped me a lot. We're just, yeah, we're really really happy with everything. So shout out to him, shout out to you, of course,
Thank you. Thank you.
for organizing, bro, this amazing tournament, keeping the community alive. It's just great. I love singles and everything singles have accomplished. So yeah, shout out to you, to the judges, everybody, the people watching. So yeah, I'm just very very happy to be here.
All right. Thank you.